Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whispers of the Atheneum presents Session 7 of Gamma P. Before we jump into what happened last time, a bit of a couple notices. One, our good old buddy Jonas is gonna be a bit late. We'll find out when he gets here. But he's a bit late. And the more important notice is we actually did an oopsie. We should have skipped a month ahead instead of a week. So for all intents and purposes, everything that they did in the month, everything they said they did in the week, that happened in their first week of break, except for the dinner invitation and this request from Arki, which is happening on this current day, the 24th of Locked. So that's just to catch you up, because we realized our error, told these guys beforehand, and we'll tell you guys. It also makes sense for the level up that they got to be level 5. But with all that explained, I think we'll have Darren tell us what happened last time.
Last time, the kids of Gamma P spent some time resting and recovering before heading out to gather materials and chase after the horrible Professor Barty. With Jonas being unstonified and Farah being resurrected from the dead, they collected a few random items, checked around the school, managed to get their hands on a small number of magical scrolls, and then descended down below the school into the uncharted corridors they didn't know existed. They wandered for a while down there, following the telltale scrapes and claws of Manticore and Stonecursed, before eventually reaching the room where Professor Bartholomew was rifling through these locked safes filled with books. Taking the time to attempt an ambush, the party unsuccessful as they were spotted almost immediately, and set about the fight, where Bartholomew almost immediately turned into an Alep, a creature of cursed knowledge. The party fought, almost died at one point, but were fine in the end as they managed to down the Alep, lock the cursed information away, finish off the Manticore, kill the Stonecursed, and not get killed in the process. Hooray! They made their way back out, spent a month, not a week, resting, found out that some rumors of their activities had somehow made its way around the school, were partially congratulated and given some credits for what they did, and received an invitation and a job to infiltrate the care house and investigate what they can under the guise of an internship, and to go to dinner with Anaya's aunt.
Yeah, that's where we ended last session. Arki has left the room, Marty has come in a few minutes later, providing you with the documentation that you need to know about, and to sign and all that. And when you sign it or continue conversation, that's where we pick up.
Yeah, so for all intents and purposes, this is the day you guys have just been given your job. You have the rest of the day to pass before the forced dinner, which was definitely not mandatory, but you're insistent on being brought along. What are you all doing? How will you prepare yourselves?
Prepare ourselves before dinner.
Sure.
Yeah. Obviously, is this just in the classroom, or have we headed it off and are just doing our own thing now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, after signing the stuff and everything in the classroom going on, once we're dismissed to do our own thing, Agnes is going to bake cookies for dinner.
So you head off to the kitchen area where you can, or a little kind of common area for the students, and you acquire the materials without too much difficulty. This is a massive ass school, and you set about baking some delicious cookies. I feel like I want to make you make a check. Do you use magic in the process of making the cookies?
I don't give them a bit of. I don't know how I would use magic in making cookies.
I'm just saying, is Agnes the kind of person to make cookies with her own blood, sweat, and tears? Or is she the kind of person to make cookies by being like, pizzam, pizzow, I'm a little goblin?
I mean,
Totally.
yeah, I don't know how to do it, but she absolutely would.
Okay.
Like, yeah, use magic. Like, maybe, like, use their firebolt to, like, light the oven. And,
Maybe,
and
just
various
make an Arcana check.
pizzazz.
Just make an Arcana check. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you why. Roll a 1. Ah, it's a 19.
Yeah, you flick your fingers, you enchant the bowl to mix itself with the wooden spoon, you light the oven with a simple firebolt, and basically you just dip your fingers in the batter to see if it's cooked yet, or like if it's good enough, and when you find the soft spot, you put it in the oven. And
You make some magical cookies. What are other people doing?
I imagine Anaya's probably finding some like nicer sort of clothing and stuff like that her aunt has given her in the past to prepare to wear it. Because it'll probably make her unhappy.
Dressing up all fancy.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know,
like stuff that her aunt's given her in the past.
you know your aunt's a matter of principle, a person of principle, so she will totally go to like the most expensive restaurant in Ghislaine. So you find you're like the best dressed you can.
Probably like a billion like dresses or whatever that her aunt's given her over the years, and she's trying to pick out the nicest looking one.
It's the point where you find out Anaya actually had a bag of holding this entire time, except it's a wardrobe of holding.
Yeah, that's just full of things her aunt has bought her.
Yeah, it's just all clothes. This is probably
Sometimes we lose Mr. Fluffles in there.
Sometimes you lose students in there. This is probably the first time I assume that Anaya actually probably looks the part of an Ariante.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm curious, are we informed of like where we're going? Like, or is it just sort of a, you're coming?
And she wouldn't have known probably to like be like, oh yeah, she's probably gonna take us somewhere like expensive as hell. It would've
Okay.
Just sort of awkward. Here's a note where she requests your presence.
I thought this was just at your place.
Could be. Who knows? Agnes can believe what she wants.
Is magic allowed outside of the school?
Hmm?
Is magic perfectly fine outside of the school? Well, some
Yeah,
magic.
this is Ghislaine. As long as like there are laws against certain kinds of magic, but you can cast spells in the city.
I think
People
you
do
know
all
why
the time.
I'm asking.
Yeah, it's just like
Just gonna
It's just-
disguise self it up.
You need a spell
Yeah.
license.
the only like always in Ghislaine, the only spells that are illegal are those that affect people's free will and those that desecrate the dead.
Would
And
never
obviously murdering people, but hey, that comes with the murder.
And don't hurt.
and best knowledge.
There's a lot of secret rules.
Yeah.
Disguise self is not concentration. No, I'm good.
Alright, so Farah's kickbacks is relaxed and goes, I'll just disguise self when it comes time to so you fit in.
Yeah, she'll just invocation it up.
Fair, and then what about Violet?
I don't know. Depending on, I think this would probably be like maybe during the period where she like spent some time home. Probably would like just be spending a bit of it, in her, old workshop. Like just messing with new things, old things, whatever. Just kind of distracting herself from everything, because everything that kind of happened about a month ago, stress. So let's just ignore that. Considering that this is like a sort of fancy thing, she would probably like try to like find some of her like fancier stuff like that she doesn't really wear at all. And she's like half debating whether or not to like do I like do something for the robots, or do I just kind of not, or do I bring them? Do I not? Like it's kind of like that sort of like I'm not sure what the fuck I'm doing. I've never done this sort of thing before. Only fancy things I've been to has been at my manor. That's it. Like, but yeah, it's more so just kind of like I'm an Aria, just like what do I do? And just immediately go and do something else to just ignore it for later.
Yeah, what's the bet that, just as an idea, Violet
Yep.
walks up to a drawer, opens up a dresser or something, sees the most expensive dress that she owns sitting in there. And it's been a long time since you wore that dress. as the
Uh-huh.
last time you wore it would probably be at your mother's funeral.
I'm gonna just ignore that.
And then
push
you
that
just
aside.
go back to the workshop and just don't pay attention to that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I probably would pick the second fanciest thing. I would realize that that's hung up because I probably didn't put it up there. I'm going to just kind of like push like 3 other bits of clothing past, just so like it's not in the front and center anymore. And I'm just going to just like, okay, close that, and then next time I open it up, I'll have that view, and I'll just pick whatever from there.
Alright, so you dressed up fancy,
Yeah.
trying to fit the occasion. Your family's from the upperish crust. Not quite as blue blood as the Ariantes, but the Blackened Stars aren't like a name no one knows.
And knowing knowing since the operation of your family's business is in Stormcaller's Bay, Tide's Favor. No, I'm right. Stormcaller's Bay.
Tempest
Bay. Oh, we confuse
Tempest.
ourselves. You know that this is a person you should probably impress a little bit, considering.
Yeah. It was a sort of like half thing where she was thinking like, should I really go? And realizing like, no, I think I have to.
Yeah,
I don't think I have a choice.
It probably takes you a moment to realize when she's like, "Oh yeah, my auntie Maria's invited us for dinner," and you're like, Maria Ariante. Oh, fuck.
Oh, hold on, wait, hold on 1 second, and just leave. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it'd be one of those things where it's just like, oh, fuck, okay. I'll ignore that and I'll come back to that later.
It's future use problem.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this character.
Some time passes, the morning shifts into afternoon into evening. It's coming about time for you all to gather and meet up and head down to where you received a letter. It tells you where basically to meet. Maria's probably sending someone to come get you all and take you to wherever it is you're having dinner, because she likes to surprise you. So as
it's a future me problem, it's probably like rushed getting dressed.
All of you are
For me.
dressed up. We didn't really go over it, but is Agnes in her best? Did Agnes realize she should be in her best?
I mean, she's not in her school uniform. She's not like super fancy, but she probably has like a pastel like shorts dress
Okay.
that she's put on.
This is the point where like mental,
Some,
like mental.
flap or something.
It's probably where mental canon just overrides everything, because in my head it's like here's all these adults and Agnes is just like a 6-year-old, which is not true. But I imagine like fancy dresses and like nice well cut outfits, and then Agnes in just like denim overalls.
Yeah.
Respect that.
Like a painted flower on the front of it and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just because she's very short.
Well,
Or it's like one of those kids like party outfits where they have like the fairy wings on the back.
Oh god, yes. Hey, it's your
I wanna, like,
it's
the
your
little
fancy.
plastic crowns.
we'll say for Jonas's sake, he's in like a business casual. Just like,
He's all the military regalia.
Yeah.
He knows how to dress up. You dress up smart.
As we gathered, I've got to wonder. Where do you get all your fancy outfits?
Home.
Blink.
My aunt buys most of my items. I don't ask them. She likes to give a lot.
That's fair enough.
I don't really go anywhere particular. It's just a thing where we have a few bits of clothing just in case we need to, and it never really. Blinks.
Oh well. Farah
As you-
is, as usual at this point. Like, until we have left the school round, she is basically just jacket open, binding. That's it.
So you're all waiting for a minute. Some awkward or not, who knows? As the area where Maria said for you all to be picked up at, and after a little while, you hear a sound coming from further down, from down like around one of the bends down the hill, and you hear like a clopping of noise, but it isn't horses that come around a corner. It is, well, it's horses of a kind. It's mechanical horses that come marching up the streets with the whirling and hissing and the occasional bout of steam out from their nose, pulling a wagon, a covered coach, the person in the front, sitting there, you've seen him before, Anaya. He is one of Maria's helpers. He's usually the one to collect you. One of his drivers, I would say. And it just pulls up, and he doesn't say anything. The door, like, he doesn't move from his seat, but the second the wagon comes to a stop, the door just and opens in front of you all.
Oh,
And I will just immediately start getting into it.
As you approach,
Watching the starry-eyed or
as you approach, like you hear some more whirring mechanisms. There's like a small, like foldable staircase falls down for you all to walk on to the cart. Once everyone's in, it whirls itself back up.
for a brief moment, it's just like that kind of like, I want to get closer to sort of see what this thing is made and how this thing works, and then just sort of like, I probably shouldn't do that right now.
Violet, can you do that? Can you make things like that?
Looks to Crystal. Probably.
You looking around, Violet? Can you make me either a Tinker's check or like just an Arcana check, either or?
Probably Arcana because I'm technically not proficient in Tinker's.
Okay.
As you turn to Crystal to look, Crystal's like, I do not understand. I'm not in equine form.
No, but you are mechanical of nature.
Can you have an equine form?
She turns to you.
No.
She gets
God,
sad.
no. But no, this wagon is like the peak of luxury when you get in. It's like, you know, plush cushioned seats. Like there's like a more than enough. It feels like there's more space than there should be. And you all fit in comfortably. You notice that Arcana check when you're looking around to see, like, you know, you could probably make this. You know, it's built into like the side of the wagon. There's like a little lined tubing area near the front. You can like peek it through through like the hatch of the area, and you watch that slowly starts to like this like red dust in it starts to like drain out of it, and as it does, the temperature inside the actual wagon heats up a bit, and it becomes a very comfortable, like, warm temperature inside.
Yeah. He didn't
Just
say
like,
anything.
yeah, just for like, because you're not your family's worked with file stuff in the past. You know,
Right.
robots are making them. This wagon itself, like the actual thing, would cost like thousands of gold to make. Whether it's just like enchantments or other stuff mixed in with stuff, this is definitely someone gloating without even having to be.
Yeah, I'm glad I dressed up.
Yeah.
No, sheer curiosity. What do you think would happen if someone were to try and levitate this thing?
It wouldn't move because levitate doesn't allow you to move.
No, I just mean, say if we went downhill.
What if the horses had wings?
To answer the first question, it would still just levitate. It wouldn't move. That's the spell levitate. Just levitates up and down. Not doesn't matter if you got momentum or not.
I'm not
And for
gonna
the
doubt
second one, I don't know.
It could be a flying carriage. And could whisk us away. In the air.
I feel like even that's a little bit
Yes,
extra.
that's my aunt.
I feel like even that's a little bit extra though.
But it'd be cool.
I kind of agree with her. It would be.
I have to agree as well.
Extra or cool?
Yes.
Both?
Be
Both is good.
That's good.
As you're
But is it not allowed to be extra?
sitting here and talking, you like, unless you look out the window, you barely notice the effects of travel. There's some sort of like gyroscopic what are they called? Springs to stop you from like feeling the road bumps.
Nice.
Well, I'm probably far too busy trying to get Queenie to be a mask.
Sorry, someone wanted to talk to me.
Is it a mast?
Mask?
Like a sail?
I mean, Queenie can sort of come in and out of my body. It's like just
A
casually
mask?
trying to get her to like bend her wings in a way that they're a mask.
Mast. Okay. Okay. I thought you meant. I thought you meant like the giant pole that holds the sail on a boat.
No, I don't think she can stretch herself that much. She is a raven.
A K, not a T.
Sorry. And with about probably like 10 minutes later, and again, unless you looked outside, you would not have told that you moved it at all. The door opens once more, and you see what looks like to be a major like restaurant area in the Spark District.
History.
Is it a place that I know? Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's funny. I'm glad I use these rolls because what else am I going to use these rolls on?
Yeah, they're gonna be used eventually.
For different reasons.
If you want to, you're probably not. Yeah, good roll.
Yeah, no, I just want to roll for like just what kind of restaurant it is.
Go ahead.
Like what food they serve.
Go ahead.
Is that just what would that be? Just regular history as well?
Yeah.
Agnes wants to know if we can get chicken nuggets and chips.
So Agnes, you've never seen this place before. Violet and Farah, you've seen this place, and Violet, you've as well. You've both never been inside. It's called the Daver's Delight,
Yeah.
and it is like with the doors open to see out. It is one of the most expensive restaurants in Ghislaine. Everything about it is like over the top. Nothing here is done to like a minor degree. There's even a literal red carpet that automatically rolls out from the door to the coach.
Violet, you've probably you've heard of this place, and when you've gone out with your family here in the past, you always wondered who goes to this restaurant, and your dad's always like, this is for when the king has a big birthday party sort of deal.
This is
Very,
okay.
very 1% echelon of Ghislaine wealth can get you into that.
I feel like that's sort of realizing that it's we're going to a place where the king's been. It's just that kind of what the fuck am I doing here?
Before we get out, is now probably the time to change?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just checking.
We are going to a place which is usually mainly visited, but by the royal family themselves. So I recommend. Probably you should a little bit nicer.
Like what you're wearing?
Maybe better. I'm
Hmm.
afraid.
Well, like maybe what I'm wearing.
Yeah, I'm afraid now.
Can I attempt to, can I look at what Naya is wearing, and with disguise self, pretty much make what I'm wearing look similar to that with my own sort of twist on the colors?
Yeah, make sure it's
Yeah.
different color, so it's just not copying. You
Don't
can't copy
feel
an
like
outfit.
that. Oh my god.
You can't steal someone's outfit.
You go for make an Arcana check.
Sure.
Roll for magic clothing.
And the pink just
Yeah. You look at what she does, her outfit and everything. You're like, that probably wouldn't fit your same body shape, but you adjust it in your head and then cast a spell and you summon a similar style of outfit, just with more cut for your own body shape and colors
know,
that would
I include,
accent your skin.
I would include a
Accent.
what would you call it? The upper part where, let me find an image, and then I had an image just before, so
Welcome to the game, Jeremy.
yeah, I had an image. I was looking through images before.
So
Nope, back one page.
We're going to a fancy place.
I was
Think-
listening.
Think
So-
I'm just gonna put this in the chat. Think the middle one here, except the butterfly thing is instead raven wings.
Fair.
As you all.
Well, since Jeremy's not here, how would Jonas have just dressed up in military finery, or what would he do? Something else? What would Jonas look like in this situation?
pretty much what you were told is that you were going to dinner with my aunt. The group was going to dinner with my aunt. Didn't specify that it was going to be an expensive place and stuff. It pretty much was just, y'all were invited to go to dinner with my aunt.
Yeah, so the thing is, Jonas doesn't have any good clothes
Oh.
Naya,
because there has not been a thing he's needed good clothes for to go to.
Never been to a funeral?
The best
No.
you'd probably have would be your dress uniform.
My mother
when
is
you
still
served.
alive.
Oofed.
Yeah, you probably have got your
I assume he is wearing his school outfit. Because that's probably the cleanest thing that he has.
Yeah, you dress up in like the cleanest outfit. Do you like press it or anything to make it look nice?
I don't think I have prestidigitation.
No, like press with an yeah.
I like launder it to make it like look all like ironed
Crisp.
or whatever.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Iron
this
shirts,
world?
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
irons.
I know it's an actual thing.
Probably.
If there's any kind of messy bits and stuff on his
I
clothes,
don't think he would
will
know
touch
it's
up
a
with
thing from
vending.
where he's from.
That makes a lot of sense.
Artificers exist. I'm sure we can make.
Yeah, like
You know what?
Yeah, but I don't think they've got like a. I was about to say tailor, but that's not the right
No.
word. I don't think they've got
I know what
a
you're trying
dry
to say.
cleaners in the
A
smoke district.
laundromat.
yeah,
Yeah.
like with Farah and Violet, they sort of recognize, oh, this is the hoity-toity fancy place, and Agnes is very much like, can I get a chicken nugget here? You're like, oh, this is a restaurant.
You guys got a kids meal? Can I play on the playground?
You're like, this is a restaurant. Like, you're that far out of like the Sparks district. You're just like, okay, I guess this is what this is what the restaurants look here. Better than they are in the Smoke district. Lack of smoke.
I've been to a restaurant. There's like half a cooked rat on the table in the smoke district.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
So you got a Hufflepuff rat.
It's a
Yo, if
soup
it's-
of the day and not a
Rat of the
not
day.
a H&S breach.
Mystery meat.
Yeah, soup of the week. Thank you there.
But
You just cut around the age sections. You just cut around. You don't really want to think about where they're from.
but
Yeah, the little red carpet rolls out. You guys start making your way up towards. I'm assuming Anaya in the lead because this is like the.
Yeah.
You're probably the only one who feels relatively comfortable in this kind of environment.
I imagine I've probably been to this place a couple of times before at least.
I mean,
Oh,
Alright.
probably.
Agnes would be at the front as well because like the importance or like significance of this place and like
Completely
how
lost on
fancy
you.
it is. Yeah, completely lost on me. So she's just like, yay!
Anaya will
Yeah.
probably grab like Agnes's hand and sort of keep her next to her so she can't potentially run off and cause absolute havoc.
Yeah. Oh, but she's also like just you know, she's also got like the jar of cookies like just in her hands. She's just been like holding.
You know what? Farah's going to offer her elbow to Jonas.
He looks at your elbow, looks up. No, there's nothing on your elbow.
No, take it. Arm around it.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
This is like even further beyond any kind of prestigious situation he's been in. He thinks the school default is prestigious.
Which is fair.
This is like
Yes.
the top 1% as well.
I mean, it does seem like there's a fancy school. They have a lot of stuff.
as,
Yeah,
Unequip
As you-
my armor real quick.
fair enough. As you guys have like gotten out
I'm also
of
gonna
the
do
car,
that actually.
as you guys have gotten out of the coach is like left almost immediately without a single word. You barely even hear it roll away. But as you approach the entranceway, approaching the front of the group with you is a pair of floating neckties and just like white gloves.
Oh.
And they just like to anyone who like they basically float up to you. No sound is even made as they attempt to start taking people's jackets and things.
Unseen servants.
Thought you better say start strangling you.
you're too poor for this place. You must
Yup.
perish. Yeah, they place their hands out like. And now you've been here before, so you take off like the coat you're wearing, and they fold it up nice. Oh, they don't fold it up; they get it and put it on a hook, and then move it inside with you. And
He just gives it his school blazer he would have had on.
Yep, and then, like one of them just takes it, like no sound is even made as it whisks it away.
Throws it in the trash.
It's
you're burning.
Burns it.
Damn you, AJ. I was about to make that joke.
Eventually, another one returns. After all, additional like things are removed from the premises, and they slowly like one of them leads you to. There's like 3 tables in this restaurant,
Oh.
and they lead you to the one where someone's sitting at.
I got Anaya's like the bottom of her shirt. Like, is that her? Is that your aunt?
Yes, that is.
Can I take a moment real quick? Like while we were giving our like coats and everything over.
Mhm.
Can I take a minute to cast Gift of Alacrity on myself?
Go ahead.
Sure.
What?
He needs to be ready for
I'm
anything.
not paranoid. You're paranoid.
Meanwhile, Agnes is like, hi,
I don't even know what
Maria!"
that spell is.
As you,
So you guys see
Well,
sitting at
wait.
the table, a
That's over.
very hard-looking woman. She's about 45 years old, human. Has a very similar white silver hair as Anaya does. Definitely looks as if like they're related. You can tell, even though Anaya is a tiefling, you can see similarities in like the shape of their face and whatnot. And she looks.
She's not a tiefling?
Nope, she's a human.
Oh,
But it's like you're trying to get a read. She looks like she's made of stone almost, with like how stoic and like structured she is, like perfectly sitting in a seat, watching as you arrive, until her eyes hit Anaya, and then almost immediately that like stone mask just fades into like a wide smile, and you see like the eyes like glow, like she's like immediately like, "Oh, my dearest Annie. It has been too long," and she gets up out of the chair and starts crossing it towards you.
So make our way towards her. It's been far too long, and
Oh, I have not seen you in. It's been 4 months. How do we possibly pass the time? She just scoops you up, like just screw all like regard and stuff and procedure. She's like literally picks you up into a hug.
Naira. This is probably like the biggest smile anybody's seen on Anaya's face as she hugs her on.
those who have a decent passive perception, you see is an additional chair is brought, and a small additional one for the table to sit on top is brought.
Well, I take it you're all my dear niece's friends. Please have a sit. We'll make proper introductions in a moment. She just nods. She looks
Yeah,
across like.
but-
You go.
Agnes extends the jar of cookies that she has that has it's also got a red glittery bow on it, and she's like, I brought cookies.
She doesn't even reach out to take it. She's like, "Oh, that is lovely," and then they just whisk out of your hand and it's float to the table.
Ooh.
I feel like immediately upon her say sit down, we'll do instructions later. It's sit down, you do what
Yep.
she says.
Violet bring her robot.
100% yes. I was going to say so, but I never found the time. I probably didn't do anything really for Crystal. She just cleaned up proper. Kay, however, has a metallic bow that's just like a magnet just attached to her hair.
How sort of busy is this place overall? Is it fairly empty, other than staff and us?
Almost completely empty. You can't even see staff. There's just these 3 tables. The one you guys are at is a longish table. The other 2 tables are both completely empty. They were decorated in different ways. And you don't see a single other person in the whole restaurant.
Okay. I'm gonna, as paranoid as this is, I'm going to sort of telepathically talk with Queenie as I will use up one of my uses of Eyes of the Grave.
What does that let you do?
So, I gain the ability to occasionally sense the presence of undead whose existence is an insult to the natural cycle of life. As an action, I can open my awareness to magically detect undead. Until the end of my next turn, you know the location of any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination magic.
Okay, so it pings all undead.
It doesn't tell me their capabilities or identity, just if there's any there.
You don't detect any. When you look through the eyes, you don't see any undead. You don't get the ping from any undead at the moment. Whatever these floating neckties and gloves are, they're probably not undead.
That's what I wanted to make sure, thank you. In that case, I go back to just conversing with Queenie in my head.
As you all sit down, and some of you are this is awkward, I'm gonna have a look for a menu. There is none.
Yeah,
What's
there's
the menu.
the table is complete, has a very, very well made tablecloth on it. There is no plates, no cutlery, no anything. There's centerpieces of vases with flowers or little magical baubles, floating crystals that just kind of slowly spin. Once you're all taking a seat, you hear this faint background chime of classical music start up, in the area. And yeah, you all take a seat. Maria sits at the very end of the table with Anaya close by, and where everyone sits, I'm assuming Crystal is next to you, Violet, and
Yeah.
Kay is on the table. It's like, so, I believe you all know me. It doesn't take a look from some of you to realize you know who I am. Proper introductions are in order, though. I'm Maria Ariante, head of, well, Baron of Tempest Bay, and aunt to my darling here, and like waves to Anaya. Now, please, I would love to know who you all are. I am very curious to learn of great friends my niece has made.
I guess I'll go first. I'm Jonas. It is a pleasure to meet you and be in such sort of looks around everyone else already at tables. A prestigious place.
Miss Cloud. And this is Queen.
Miss Cloud. Now, Jonas, I've not heard a lot about you, unless it's who you've been writing about. And then he looks over to Anaya. But Miss Cloud, your name has passed some circles. I've heard you're a bit of a protege in the more godly rings.
I'm just an acolyte.
For now. Who else?
I'm Agnes. Hi. It's nice to meet you.
It is lovely to meet you too.
Hi, I'm Violet Blackenstar, House Blackenstar. It's very nice to be invited to a place like this. Thank you.
The Blackenstar. It's mighty interesting. I believe we used to work with your family for a while.
I believe I heard of such dealings. I've not been much involved with it myself. I've only overheard a few things from my father.
Well, hopefully, who knows, when you graduate, you might come and work, and we might continue a business-like relationship with some of the other groups in Tempest Bay. I know the Blackenstar name carries some weight over there.
Just nods.
And from what I can see, it seems you haven't exactly let the name go to waste, as she looks at the two constructs you have following you.
And this is Crystal. She is she is one of, if not well, probably the main invention that I've had help with making, but sorry, it's hard to really explain. Crystal is both, in addition to being a mechanical servant of mine, she's also able to help me in certain ways, which allows me to kind of, and points towards Kay, allow this, unlike the servant, to kind of be a little bit autonomous.
She's nodding along as she's like listening. It's like, I understand. Multifaceted constructs are rather important when it comes to an artificer's line of work. You don't just need a single tool for any job. You know, sometimes a hammer might not solve every solution, but it solves quite a few if you use it correctly.
Crystal isn't a tool.
I don't
Some
say
see it
anything.
otherwise. It's like there's a silence where it's like, "Sss,"
She's a friend, like the rest of us.
and that is lovely of you to think that.
Just very much a pause. Just like, I am not going to jump in right now.
Just the awkward silence that like hangs in the air for a minute.
So, we're here for dinner? A job?
What kind of spice do you put on the rats?
Ah, rat. You know, I haven't actually eaten rat in probably 15 years.
It's not fun.
No, but when you run out of food, when you've fallen through the plane of air and crashed into the plane of earth and hoping for a portal to get your way out, well, you eat whatever's on the ship.
She's got a point.
Ship? In the earth?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jonas. Your name is not one I recognize. Would you perhaps be one of the military graduates?
When she refers to him by name, he like freezes a little. Yes, I am. I'm at the school for martial training.
It's good. We always need a few more swords. We don't want what happened years ago happen again. Well, we have an alliance with the Concordant. I'm sure it'll always be that way. And she winks. But no, you might not know this, Jonas, but I and the Ariete family own 2 of the Stormcaller vessels that go out into the Endless Tempest to collect file essence. I used to serve on some myself, but alas, I've been told to take a more administrative angle in my later years.
Were we taught in school, like in general classes, about all that stuff?
Probably in
yeah,
history. It was a big deal. File tech is like one of the huge boons to the Ghislaine Society. So it's like
Probably mentioned in basic history.
it's one of like the biggest ways that Ghislaine earns money is through the file trade. So it's taught, and
Just, I was gonna say, just like any history class, you'd probably learn about it for like 1 term, and then that's it.
unless you're specialized, unless you're specialized like Violet would be, who's probably got a lot more learns a lot more about everything that the Stormcallers are. Yeah, like you probably heard the name of the Baron before, but forgot it because it was like 1st or 2nd year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I feel that. Jonas just responds like, "That sounds like you've got quite a large plate of things on it."
You would have no idea. Well, it's lovely meeting you all. I am so thankful that you've helped my dear Annie here have a great year at school. I'd love to know, I heard about your recent adventures you've all taken. How have you been finding your club work?
It's been fun.
A little in over our head,
Being
to be
painful.
perfectly honest.
But don't they say that, danger breeds new skills? Adversity breeds expertise, or some such saying like that?
And character, so I hear.
Indeed.
From what I heard, that is correct. It's just, yeah, it's been a lot.
Or it's just having flashbacks right now.
I'm sure in the past
Yes.
I'm sure in the past other groups of the similar club, I believe called Gamma P. It's rather easier than saying the whole thing. I'm sure they've had an easier time in prior years, so I guess you've just been, well, I guess lucky.
You are quite well informed.
It pays to be.
As
But in over your heads, given where you've all been, I'd say you've had quite an interesting journey, dealing with all manner of illegal beasties and around. But more after we eat.
as the conclusion ends, you see as these large dishes with these coverings on top are all placed in front of you. Nothing for the robots,
Of course not.
but there are these there's five. There's 6 of these large silver plates with these large silver hoods on top, and they're placed in front of each of you.
Jonas points at it. What's that?
Open it and find out.
He takes the dome off and looks at the dome. No, I mean this.
It's a cover to keep the food warm. When you take the hood off the food, Jonas,
Mhm.
what is the meal you always wish you could have?
Always wished he could have.
Yeah, what is the thing that you would consider that Jonas considers to be the thing he wishes he could have?
That's a pretty loaded question.
Yeah, it's
Oh, no.
in this moment, you go to a restaurant, it's very fancy and above class. It's very, you've been to the cafeteria at schools, all the foods they serve there. When you come and sit down here, what's the food that you think Jonas would be thinking about as the highest quality that he would think about? The meal that at the moment he thinks is like this would be the best meal ever.
Okay, now this might sound dumb, but y'all seen Ratatouille?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no. What's that? Never seen it before.
So, I'm imagining his mother, back when she used to take care of him when he was younger, used to make like the poor person variant of the Ratatouille.
Okay.
So
Like
that's
when-
what he
when-
think would be nice. A
Like
cooked
when
meal by
Ego
his
goes
mother.
into his flashback.
Yep,
Ah.
yep,
Are
yep,
you wanting
exactly
to
what I'm talking about.
Epialdi or whatever it's called?
When you lift up the top, you see the dish in front of you, and it is ratatouille. It's made. It's even styled in a way that reminds you of when you were a kid, when your mother made it. Though it seems to be made of ingredients that you couldn't have even dreamed of getting a hold of. But even like the way that's presented on the plate seems to be like when you were a child.
His brain just starts doing backflips, looking at it, and not being able to understand.
You see as the Baron has picked up a large steak knife as the perfect T-bone medium rare is presented in front of her with a bunch of like this nice glass of wine and some good potato mash. It's like, and she explains how the restaurant works.
It is well, when you came in here, it's a bit intrusive, some find it, but they do a bit of scanning, and they go into your mind and they find a meal that that they think will fit you the best, and they make it for you using your own memories. So I can't wait to see what you all eat. And she like looks expectantly to everyone else's still covered trays.
Jonas just looks like poor people food. That's hilarious. He starts eating the poor people food.
It might be a poor people food, but it probably has a lot
It's
of
got
emotional
quality
weight.
ingredients.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well.
I'm
Yeah, so
not
who-
good with food.
I went to
Well,
I went to Darren. If someone
I don't know.
Oh,
Go on.
Where you going?
I was gonna say, I went to Darien that if someone wanted dino nuggies, that'd be the greatest dino nuggies of all time.
The best tomato sauce on the side.
oh yeah, it's freshly made.
Agnes
tomato
can
sauce.
get the nuggies.
Yeah, Agnes, your answer to do this place have nuggies? The answer is if you want them.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't know.
If it helps, it's like it doesn't have to be like what you would think would be like the thing you want to eat. It could be your favorite food. It could be like a memory, like Jonas's, something that reminds him of someone else. Whatever's like the food that's most drawn to you.
If you want a suggestion, Violet, I feel like I have an idea of
Yeah.
what your meal would be.
I think you already know what I'm thinking, but I'm just trying to think of what exactly.
When you lift yours off, it's not a steaming hot plate of crazy food or something. It's actually a very minimal style dish of healthy and like a very nutritious finger foods of a way, very snackish things, and a mug of a perfectly made coffee that you would have had when you and your mother used to work on Crystal together.
Yeah. I feel like I should like lift that up, or, like a bit like hesitantly, like very much like a very long pause before actually lifting it up. Realize that she kind of has to, lifts it up, sees what it is, holds the lid for like 10 seconds, just looking at it, kind of places the lid to the side, and just like slowly and like very like sort of like almost carefully, it's just like eating at it, just because she's unsure how to properly process this.
And even this dish, it's very simplistic in a way.
Yeah.
But it's like the garnishes that are hidden, like there are sauces you can barely even see that make it just taste exquisite. Everything is like, it's the kind of food you would have ate at that time, except at the highest possible quality.
Yeah. For like a moment, I probably just like turned to Crystal and just look back at the food, and then just kind of sort of blink for a few bits just to kind of get that out, and just like stop and just like and go back to that sort of like careful just eating, just trying
who's
to like
next?
push everything away.
I can go next. But
Sure.
I'd like to say, I can just imagine Violet picking up like a piece of carrot or something and just like, here comes the airplane, Crystal.
No.
Mouth opens and there's like a buzzsaw noise that like whirs on the inside.
It's just what's the term? You know, Americans have them in their sink.
Like,
Oh,
garbage
oh,
disposal,
yeah,
yeah.
blending
Yeah,
thing.
Christian.
Yeah.
I was imagining like a really tiny incinerator.
That works.
See, I was thinking it's like she'd open her mouth and you put the carrot in, and then just a grated carrot would come out the front like a dispenser. Because it's useful.
Like a shredder.
Yeah,
It's gonna be useful
exactly.
in some way.
Yeah. So what would Anaya be eating? What's the dish that you lift the top off
I
and say?
don't know what the exact food would be, but I would imagine it's maybe something from like a young birthday when she's messed something up and her mother's just absolutely lost it at her, been unimpressed, and her aunt ended up coming in and sort of just taking Anaya away and either cooking something herself or taking her something. Like that specific meal of her aunt cheering her up from like just an awful time.
And it's not too surprising for you when you take the top off because you've been here before, and it's almost always the same meal. And yet it somehow doesn't get boring. But yeah, it's a meal that you remember very fondly because it's one that a character like Maria, like you wouldn't expect someone like that just like, whisk away in a kitchen, but it's one she made for you herself to cheer you up when you were younger.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 2 left.
Uh,
You know,
Oh, you go on. You go.
no, you go first.
Okay, I think, Agnes is just like a really elaborate like trifle that just like has like massive
Served for
layers
dinner?
of like. Yes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
A what?
a trifle.
Uh,
It's usually dessert.
Oh,
like a-
okay.
it's like a tiered dessert. So there's like jelly at the bottom, and then a
Mhm.
layer of custard, and then a layer
And
of
then
Okay.
cream, and then like whipped
Yeah,
cream,
and,
and
like-
like
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
that.
I'm very bad with foods. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
whipped cream.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like cake and
sadly
stuff.
done at, like,
Very,
Christmas.
very
It's a
fancy
trip to the
layers.
dentist in a meal.
Oh
Something
god.
like that.
Yeah. And imagine one, where there's like chunks of like strawberry in it, and I'm looking at a picture, and like at the top, like there's like bits of like watermelon or strawberry or something. They're in like the shape of stars.
I think I know
Yeah.
the exact picture you're looking at.
Yeah.
Is this one? Oh god, or it won't just load. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
You're making trifle.
It's trifling.
Trifling.
But yeah, you take it off and you see this delicious trifle sitting in front of you, all the different layers and everything. This is the best meal you could probably have. It's dessert for dinner.
I want trifle.
He is so excited.
Yeah. It's your one sitting in front of you. I don't know if this is something that Agnes is emotionally connected with, or just like this is the greatest idea ever.
There's no like memory emotional attachment to it. It's just like this is yummy.
This is a life hack.
Yeah. So yeah, you have this amazing trifle. When you're tasting it, every single bite is exquisite. It's like you don't know how they got like strawberries to be that sweet. You've never had anything that tastes this good before. It's probably gonna ruin all other trifles for you, but you don't care in the moment. Farah.
You know, I had a big breakfast. Is there a wash basin anywhere?
Absolutely. There's always a wash basin somewhere. And she looks around. There's like a little door off to the side where people can go and like tidy themselves up and stuff.
Thank you. You all enjoy. I'll be back in a moment.
Your food sits there, still covered.
She goes to throw up.
Queenie, you stay here
Or
and
sneak out the window.
I'm gonna sit Queenie on I don't
Sorry,
know.
wrong. Damn.
Would you all just out of curiosity, would Crystal react if I sat Queenie on Crystal's shoulder?
No, I specifically told them today, I think, to not do shit.
Okay, yeah.
Behave.
So
Like,
as I wander off,
especially Kay. Kay has been told to behave.
Yeah, as I wander off to do that, I sort of like leave Queenie sitting on Crystal's shoulder. I'll be back.
Yeah, you make your way off to the little
Okay.
side area where you go into the little side area where there's like mirrors and basins and water. There's tiny little there's no real plumbing in a lot of these old worlds. Like there's no toilets or anything, but they still have flowing water somehow through some enchantment or little forced enslavement of a water elemental. Who knows?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You get decanters of endless water.
See, that's poor people's infinite water though. They'd rather bind.
I am a poor
Hey,
person. What are you
yeah.
implying?
Bind
Exactly.
the water elemental instead.
Yeah, they've bound a water weird
To one thing.
just to make the sinks flow.
To one single sink.
The most
yeah,
extra use of water ever.
that's what Farah's gonna do for the time being.
What is Farah gonna do?
Just stay there for a moment.
Alright, I
Okay.
just wanted to I imagine everyone else is like eating theirs, like really properly, like either because they are fancy, like
Oh,
Anaya and
absolutely
her aunt,
not.
or like everyone else is like awkward, or like Violet's like awkwardly picking at it. Like I just want to say, like Agnes is just devouring hers, like she's just got like a giant spoon and is just shoveling it into her mouth.
Oh yeah, the cutlery provided is what they thought would work best for you. So like, some people have like little forks and knives that suit the dish. You just have like somehow something that's twice the
Spoon.
size of a soup spoon.
Yeah, she basically has a ladle.
Yeah. It's a little divot so you can pour it into your own mouth.
And you're a gnome as well, so that's a big ladle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nightmare trying to get her down. It's gonna be on a sugar high.
God. Yeah, so
Got caffeine, I'm ready to go.
so you all sit. There is some polite conversation across the table. Maria asks you all how the school year has gone so far, how you've enjoyed the holidays, aside from the whole almost dying thing, whom's your favorite teachers would be. Just basic small talk things to get to know you all as much as you can. Ask about hobbies and whatnot. How long does Farah spend hiding in the wash area?
It'll probably hit a point where it is an awkwardly long time. Noticeably, like she's been gone for a bit.
15 minutes or half an hour?
Probably not half an hour, but definitely like that 15 minutes will go by easily. Giving you time.
20
Come
minutes.
out after then, or
Oh no, I'm not playing two for a bit. I'm
It's
will
just
admit though,
noticeable at that point.
Farah is she is listening.
Yeah.
She's just not out there.
I imagine because you decided to specifically leave Queenie on Crystal's shoulder, I kind of assumed that you're just listening in anyway.
hmm
For a reason,
Well.
but I will not judge those reasons.
Yeah, as each of you finishes your meal, the moment you finish eating and like you're done, it just gets whisked aside by like just the gloves and tie floating in the air. It's like you put the fork down on the tray and the tray immediately just floats past you off to the side.
when Farah's been in there, like been gone for a while, and I will excuse myself to go check on Farah.
Yeah, you get up and you make your way away from the table.
She goes, she looks for Farah. Does she find Farah easily, or is Farah like
She's-
hiding?
Not exactly hiding. I'm just trying to think what the sort of where the wash basin, what sort of the room would look like.
It's stylized like a bathroom. Like it's like a bathroom, like a toilet area would be for a restaurant, except like it's everything is magic. Everything is magic.
Honestly, she's probably just been staring to what I assume is meant to be a mirror for this entire time.
Yeah.
Like, sort of hands on it, just staring, lost in thought or something.
And I will approach her and gently touch her shoulder. Farah, is everything okay?
As her vision and hearing comes back. What? Hi.
Been in here for a while. Is everything alright?
Yeah, everything is fine.
Why didn't you come back out? Because you've been in here for a good maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, I've been listening the whole time.
Why not come and sit and listen and also try new stuff? Plus your food is waiting.
It's all good. I'm not hungry, but I'll come back. Sorry.
And I will make sure she ushers like far out before her.
You can 100% insight that if you want, but
Yeah, no, I absolutely will. I do not have good insight, but it's just possible. Never
no,
mind.
it's
good
fine. You can flat out tell she's not eating for a reason.
Yeah, just before they go to leave, she will stop Farah and just say, "Why aren't you eating?"
Seeing everyone's faces made me just think of one particular dish that could come up.
Is that a bad thing?
I was raised in a temple. Church?
Sure.
One of the two.
Probably more like a temple, given your kid was raised there.
And the dish that comes to mind is one of the very few memories I have of before that.
Is it something you would prefer not to be reminded of?
Well, it only comes second next to witnessing death.
Oh, I'm sure we could find something to replace it with something else. Be fine.
It's fine. I did actually eat today. Or yes, witnessing life is probably the other way you could word it.
Please, I would love if you could eat something here. It's the food you have here is like nothing else.
She proceeds to pull out a ration.
And Naya just kind of sighs and sort of tries to take the ration away from her. Farah, please.
Let's just head out. And Vira will just head out.
In the time Anaya's been gone, almost as soon as Anaya left earshot, Maria was making like basic small talk with you all, being like,
Yep.
"Oh, when I was your age, I did this and that." But then Anaya leaves earshot, and she's like, "So," and she looks across all of you, and her eyes just like lock kind of on Jonas. Like, "What are your intentions with my niece?"
He looks up like a deer caught in the headlights.
It's like the question is to the table, but she's just staring at Jonas.
To
Okay,
be
good.
Her friend and hang out with her.
That one?
I see. And what are your plans for the future? You've all almost graduated. You must have ideas about what you're going to do after, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wander in the forest.
This is
My goal is to become part of the guard, actually.
Indeed. So the forest, Agnes. Forest is a dangerous place, I've heard.
Jonas
like-
exhales when it's not on him anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still
It's like-
holding my breath.
She's like she's like staring directly. She doesn't blink the whole time, and then it's like she turns her head suddenly to Agnes, and the expression shifts again from like very serious to like, oh, we're back to just talking very lightly again. It's like, oh, the forest, interesting. I've heard it's very dangerous, Agnes. Why would you want to journey in there?
I need to go to the Feywild. And I've heard that you can get there through there.
I've heard the same thing actually. Or the Shadowfell. I don't know if you can really tell which one you're going to end up in at the time, though.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'll find it eventually.
Well, if you want to go journeying through the Feywild, maybe you should go ask around the Bard colleges down in near the hill. Or Merchant Ring, really better option maybe. There's a old performer who used to be a professor down there who spends a lot of time in the Feywild. If you can
Really?
find her, maybe she'd be able to give you some pointers to end up in the right spot.
Do you know her name?
AJ, what's the name?
Her name is Chris Sender.
Right. I believe it's
Yeah.
Chris Sendo. She's a faunus.
Okay, hang on. At the Bard's College, or what was the other one you said?
The Bard's College, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Bard.
She used to be a professor there.
What's her name?
I don't know who that is.
Chris Shendo.
Is that with a K or a C?
Okay.
KK.
It's like crescendo, but Chris Sendo.
Yep, okay, got it.
I take full responsibility for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should.
it's great.
Is that the Easter egg?
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. That should help a lot.
It's no problem at all, my dear. And Violet, are you going to be following in your family's footsteps and joining one of the... Are you going to be continuing the family artificing, or do you plan on joining one of the guild halls down there? The fireworks or whatnot?
The immediate tense up. Haven't actually decided that part yet. She's like kind of like half trying to keep eye contact, but like also like this is way too difficult. Like slight moving away. It's like, I mean, I haven't decided properly yet if I want to continue, or just go to other things. I've yet to really put some time or thought into it. It's studies have been very much on my mind a lot recently. It's been kind of hard to think
It's
past
very
it.
fair. The final year is a very important one. You want to make sure you make a bit of a splash on your way out of the school. Though I feel like all of you have done that already. This is about the time that Anaya and Fire are returning.
Like, does the expression leave like me, or does it just go like?
Once Anaya returns, her expression shifts almost immediately to Anaya with like, everything's great, we're all having a great time, yes?
Okay, good.
And
Very
you guys can, Farah, you can take your seat if you want to do whatever. Does Farah open the dish at all?
No.
No.
Unless absolutely being told to.
No. She looks over at you, Farah, at some point. It's like, I'm assuming you're going to be continuing your tutelage with the Kamashian Church once you finish up.
That appears to be the path I'm on, yes. I would very much like to be taught by my own art.
Well, given her role in the city and what she does here, I'm sure you'll be having quite informative tutelage, especially with what I hear about your, not unique, but, uncommon connection.
She will mutter under her breath, "I know nothing in Celestial."
One moment.
Anxious.
Yeah, no, I want to see if this causes something.
But here's
I don't think anyone else at the table would speak it, as far as I'm
Nope.
aware.
oh, let me quickly check, and no.
Dude, Nimish
No, I
Primordial,
got
let's
Pistol
go.
instead and Infernal.
This is where Crystal speaks
That's
it, right?
the opposite way. Yeah, Crystal
I
actually
the
does speak
opposite,
it.
man.
I have sign language.
Hold on, let me see if
Very
my robots actually have No, they don't have languages. That's a shame.
I guess they're based off your
Mr.
own.
Fluffles clearly speaks Celestial.
Mr. Flopples
Yeah.
is a god incarnate.
When you're like,
Crystal has a stat block I don't know about.
when you whisper, like, you kind of mutter, you know nothing, in Celestial as well, she responds with, "You'd be surprised what I know."
Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna get away without a, just a stare, like side-eyed. Yeah.
And her face, like, while she's talking to all of you, even though it's like the expression is like, jovial, happy, calm, it almost never shifts. So if she is having other emotions, it's almost impossible to read her intentions behind these. Even when she was like staring you down, Jonas, she had like, it was like a, oh, this looks like the face of someone having fun, except there is a serious hardness behind it in that moment.
Also, why is she staring into my soul?
Yeah.
It hurts, please stop.
For those of you who know of the Ariantes, by reputation, probably only Violet. Maria is very much known for having a strong personality, and she is technically not the Baroness, but the Baron is a title given to her because she's so unyielding in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the way she's like forced her way through this conversation with you, like, even though there's been opportunities for you guys to ask questions back, it's never felt correct.
Yes.
Like, she's always been the one asking questions, and as the conversation goes, it continues a lot like this way. Like, it feels like the right thing to do is to answer and never to question. She's like projects this air from her as she's doing that, as she
It's
talks.
the safest bet 100% of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been in those situations.
Struggling to breathe just by thinking about it.
It's like, for Jonas, like, a lot of your military training, like, this feels like when you're getting getting drilled by like one of your sergeants in basic training. It's like, you know that the best thing to do is respond to questions and don't question orders.
You speak when you're spoken to, and that is it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Agnes has not picked up on any of this.
Which makes so much sense.
Normally I wouldn't, but there's just an air here which is just like, probably, no, just no.
No, Agnes just sees a smiling face and is like, she's happy, we're having a good time.
I assume a little bit more time goes by. Fire actually does wish to ask one question.
Yeah.
Although, because she's still thinking about before she unintentionally asked it in Celestial, it's, how much do you know about my auntie? The auntie being the replacement word here.
Darius, look at a damn name.
If it's Auntie Sybil, if that's what you're asking.
That's the one. I was trying to remember what her name was.
Yeah.
Ah, Lady Sybil. She responds in common, even though you asked in Celestial. She goes, well, I know quite a few things about her. I know she's one of the few people to actually wield a decent regard of celestial energy. Quite very few people in the world hold that sway.
Well, she is known for some things, I guess.
Yes, there are other things, of course, but those are more of a private matter.
Was just curious. You seem to know a lot about us, but truth be told, if your guess was that I knew nothing about you, you weren't wrong.
Well, I'm an open book. Feel free to ask away.
So what is it that you do?
Don't do it.
Well,
There it
I
is.
am. I help run Tempest Bay. In the state of the king, who can't always make his way down there, I manage the city for him. Also, the Ariante family, who I also happen to be the matriarch of, we own 2 of the 3 Stormcaller ships that head out and collect fire lessons. That is then used in the markets and the fireworks, and produces a decent amount of revenue for the Kingdom of Ghislaine.
What you're saying with the Agnes's eyes just completely glazed over.
Yep.
Just like, okay, so you run the city?
Yes.
That's nice.
It is a lot more work than you'd expect.
I mean, it's a city, it's big. There's a lot of stuff in it.
Also, I have a feeling that Ghislaine is rather harder to run than most kingdoms.
There's plenty of things that would go under your radar too, though, I imagine.
When things go under your radar, then things... A good leader doesn't let the unexpected occur. Let's put it that way. The downside of that being Ghislaine is that wizards, sorcerers, are very much, and bards especially, are very much into doing the unexpected. You never know when one day you're going to wake up and receive a report that an artificer has attempted to find out what happens if you drink a file.
What does happen if you try to drink a file?
You explode!
Sounds about as
Oh.
dangerous as liquid air.
Yes.
You usually learn very quickly not to mess with substances like that.
Did you know people have even started trying to tattoo fire lessons directly onto the skin?
Do they look nice?
No!
With enough refinement, that should be possible, theoretically, right?
It is
I have
possible.
another question. What is a file essence?
She just smiles at you. It's like, well, fire essence is the, let's say, secured essence of elementals captured in the Endless Tempest. We refine it down into workable materials and can infuse it into magical items and artifacts in order to do different effects. For instance, if you take the energy from a fire elemental and infuse it into a sword, you can make the sword very hot, so it burns people. Or if you put it into a pair of boots, you can make it so they move very fast.
When
So
you
it's elemental magic.
Exactly.
when you
except-
say refine and take, just to be clear, as this is something I don't think is at least it's not something I've been told. How do those elementals fare?
Well, as we have to shoot them with a rather large harpoon in the process, usually they disappear. As what happens to most elementals who you stab repeatedly.
So do you kill them?
We believe they forced back into their own plane. When other planar creatures are killed in the material plane, they just go home.
Oh, alright.
They're primordial creatures, Agnes.
We just take a bit of a tithe for sending them on the journey. And that is files.
That's an interesting way to talk about that. Not in character.
Yeah. Anyone else have questions for her?
No, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that
So
because it'll end up being reversed to something about
Oh.
me.
you
I'm afraid of
invited-
why.
Wait,
Yeah.
ask
No,
her a
actually-
question.
I do have another question. Why are you a human when Anaya is a tiefling? Is your sister or whoever Anaya's mum is a
father-
tiefling that you just
my-
didn't inherit?
My Father's a tiefling, Agnes.
Ah, okay. So your mom's side is human and your dad's side is tiefling.
She nods her head.
Ah, okay.
Pretty common.
I only have one other question, but I feel like it's one I should be asking last. Just making sure.
Anaya will probably at some point ask, how her mother and her father have been and if they seem to have taken any notice of her at school.
She's like, oh, your mother and father are doing fine. They're still lost in all the little paperwork and busy work they like doing. Have they taken much notice of your schoolwork? Well, I do like to mention to them how well you're doing as you progress your studies. Have you not received any letters from them? I've been telling your mother to write, and your father, well, he doesn't like taking orders from me. But he doesn't.
Why not?
Well, he has this thing called penis, and apparently that makes it so you don't have to listen to certain people who don't have them.
Okay.
No,
I feel like this is a conversation about something else.
this is the part where I contemplate if Agnes knows what a penis is.
Does Agnes know the birds and the
baby
bees?
Do
Yeah,
they
I'm
teach
just
sex ed in school?
I'm just like,
No.
do I ask
Are you
aloud?
like 40, but 40 for a gnome?
I'm
Which is like
16
10 or whatever? Oh, 16. Okay, never mind.
in like human years, but I'm pretty sure that's still young for a gnome.
I would have to say that, not to be rude to your father, Anaya, having married into our family, he likes to prove that he is worth the name.
She nods her head a little and just goes, I know. Unfortunately, though, I haven't really received any letters from either of them, just from you.
Then I'm sure they're just waiting for when they get that final report of yours that says you've passed with flying colours. They can send you all sorts of gifts. If they don't, I'm going to throw them into the ocean. Because honestly, they spend so much time in their little libraries looking up and studying the family magic. They should really take their head out and smell the flowers, if you will.
I don't know. I think everything would smell like rot to Mother.
Well, when you spend a lot of time around, as I said, the family studies, things tend to smell quite a bit like rot.
And Naya just has a little giggle.
Nothing.
Okay.
So they're grave diggers?
You could say that. In a way,
Father
we're not
seems to be
grave
a gold
diggers.
digger.
Oof.
Does Jonas say this out loud?
Oh no, this is
Of
me.
course not. Yeah. It's like, not grave diggers, but our family specializes in a particular angle of magic, not necromancy, before you ask. But with all things, there are downsides and reagents are necessary, and sometimes the reagents come from creatures and beasties, and Anaya's mother likes to have a hands-on approach to the collection and utilization of such reagents.
As long as they aren't messing with the cycle of life and death, then I have no reason to have quarry with that.
Of course not. We know better than to mess with the Kamashian faith. So she's like, smiles. We wouldn't do any illegal magic, no.
No, why would it be illegal?
I've been around long enough. I'm almost certain that every royal fancy lordship, I'm almost positive all of them have some form of that, but I suppose I'll ask this bluntly. What's the ulterior motive for inviting us along with your niece?
Ulterior motive?
Farah is convinced she has one.
She smiles at you and it's like, that's a very good question. My ulterior motive is to get to know the friends that my dearest niece has told me she has. For I've received many letters from my darling niece, and this is the first time I believe they've mentioned other people. Now I'd love to know what you all do, And I'm very intrigued to kind of people Miney spends her time around, as I want to make sure she's surrounded by positive influences.
My mouse is over the inside button.
Go for it.
You know what? Sure. With my basic bitch -1.
Oh, you talked about us in your letters?
I don't doubt the
Anaya
letter
just
thing.
bumps her head a little.
I'm not inside the
With-
letter, I'm inside specifically if she's been truthful about
With
this.
the 22 and an 18.
You can tell that, like, she's very protective of Anaya. And it's like, yeah, straight up, like, a part of this is straight up sussing you all out. You have a feeling that if she could approve of you all, or some of you, then you would potentially no longer be allowed to be friends with Anaya, though Anaya would may never learn of this.
Is there
I
any
will-
with that reading? Do we get like any sort of idea, or no, not at all?
An idea of, like, what would happen to you?
Well, no,
doesn't
what she's
like-
thinking, what she's thinking about us. Does she like us, or is it just like, ooh,
If we do, if she does approve or not.
does she
Well,
approve?
She doesn't seem to disapprove of any of you
Okay, good.
at the moment.
I think if that was
Still
the case,
good.
we wouldn't be sitting here anymore.
I feel like we would have been kicked out by now.
Kicked out? Dude, we'd be liquid.
Yeah, it's like Anaya leaves to go to the bathroom, and then she comes back and just, like, a chair is like, oh, where'd Jonas go? Oh, he had to pop out for a minute. He'll be back shortly.
He's been banished.
Yeah, there's just, like, a pile of ash in the chair where he was. But no.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. As you can imagine, if you have any idea of my current reputation, you can understand why I'm as suspicious of most people.
Well, one with your reputation, you might say, Miss Cloud, of bending rules to suit your fashion, and taking liberties where you can find them, especially utilizing your future, you could say, to get away with doing what you do all the time. One could say that's either resourceful or reckless. I like to look at it from the angle that you're not an idiot.
Just gonna pretend I don't have a negative one intelligence. I do what I need to do to find out stuff if I want to find it out.
And I'm sure Vostagen would agree.
Look, he's a great friend.
Friend.
She's very positive when she says that. She
Yeah.
genuinely views Vost as a friend. I've been over this.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
I don't care if she doesn't believe that.
Yeah, the dinner continues. You all
Mhm.
have food. At some point, like another like round of like some like a smaller round of food is brought out, but this is just like evening like snacks. It's like finger foods. It's like polite to have like small bits to eat, and drinks are brought out depending on. It seems to also be the drink that you were thinking about, like, oh, I'm really thirsty for this particular thing. It happens to be that kind of drink, whether it's more coffee for Violet or like even if it's alcoholic, like it's brought to the table, or just water. After a while, the conversation continues. If anyone has more questions to ask Maria, throw them at me. Otherwise, the evening starts coming to a close.
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions myself.
Alright.
Conversation.
Anything?
She manages a light conversation the whole time. Even though you can't think of questions, she not quite forces, but it's like you're being socially positioned in situations where you're expected to say certain things, and that's basically the most. It's like she'll say something, and then you'll be expected to respond in a
Yeah,
certain
like she's
way,
trying to maneuver us to like answer certain things, like by
exactly.
posing
It's
certain
called
questions.
manipulation.
Oh,
Yes.
straight
Yeah.
up. And it's very much something like
It's working.
Farah
Yeah,
would have gladly told the tale of how she accidentally got 2 people arrested.
she listens wholeheartedly.
Agnes also helps tell the story.
It's totally to divert
got it.
away from being asked things, but you know, it's story time.
But after food is brought and left, and drinks have been brought and left, and after a little while, Maria's like, well, it's been lovely to meet you all, and Anaya, you should have told me more about them. It's been far too long since we've had a nice dinner, we should meet up again before I leave.
You know, the head, that would be nice.
Where are you going?
I will return back to my home in Tempest Bay, though not for a few more days. I'm still going to be in the city. I have business to attend to. But it's lovely for you to meet you all, and I hope you all have a lovely night. I'm going to make my leave now. When it's time to leave, just make your way out, and the coach will be there ready for you.
Thank you.
She excuses herself from the table.
Does she take the cookies with her?
Yes.
Cool.
She takes the jar of cookies.
James, pull this
And
away.
she-
It's from the poor.
It's like off screen. It's like she
You
walks
can give
aside.
these to the poor.
She walks inside, just tosses them over her shoulder out of screen.
No, she takes them.
She takes them. It's the polite thing to do.
Jonas finds his mother eating them the next day.
God.
You,
Oh,
you're gonna
I'm needing
poison the
healing
cookies,
word
right?
for that one.
man, I'm still recovering from the burns.
God, that would have been a great idea.
But yeah, as
Oh.
how long are you guys gonna wait until after? Like, do you want to have a conversation after she leaves? Do you guys gonna wait like a minute and then go?
As
What's going
soon
on?
as she's gone, Farah is going to pull out those rations.
Agnes is just like, well, she's nice.
But this whole time, Farah, your dish is sat there, like, still covered.
I'm not opening it.
Can I, like, just very quickly, like, cast see invisibility?
Go ahead.
Just to
Yeah,
see if, like, there's
totally.
any sensors just around us, just in case.
So you're gonna cast see invisibility.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You are surrounded by invisible creatures.
Besides the ones that I obviously know exist.
Yeah, there are like the equivalent of unseen servants, stuff like all
Yeah.
over this place, like moving around constantly. Yeah, there are like arcane eyes, like in multiple
Yeah.
places around the room. Not just over your, like, it's like some over your table, some over the other tables. It's like this place is wired in so many ways for detection. That way, like, you haven't seen a single other person the whole time you've been here. It's like they are observing you constantly, despite
Behind a
not
monitor.
ever seeing you. Yeah.
Oh god.
Can they see through illusions?
This is...
Probably.
Depends if they have true sight or not.
I feel like shall we go?
But Farah hasn't even touched her food.
Let's go.
She doesn't need to touch her food if she doesn't want to, Agnes.
Okay.
Queenie, do you want a snack? And I'll
I
just
wish
part
I
of the
did.
ration to Queenie.
It's really good.
Farah is up, off the table, away from the table, and already heading for the exit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend none of this happened. Let's go.
And I will probably pull out her glasses at this point and put them back on, heading for the carriage.
Jonas
I think
sneaks
me
a peeks of what's under the galosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Agnes. I was just gonna say Agnes. Like as she's walking past, she like lifts the thing to see what's under it.
Yeah,
So you
Jonas
lift
is
to look
also
under it?
there.
How does it work with them picking it up?
Jonas and
So-
Agnes even.
So you lifted up to have a look at what dish was under there for Farah. It was empty. They knew it's like they knew the whole time that she was never going to eat it, so there was nothing even in there.
I mean,
that's
like,
also pretty
yeah.
accurate.
Place not, want not. He puts the lid back on and goes
Oh.
And it
out.
gets pushed away.
It was
Okay.
either going to be empty or the smell of death. Which would you prefer?
Bacon and
Oh, yeah.
eggs, sunny side up.
That's what I would
It was
prefer.
smiley face and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
But the tomato sauce is blood.
Oh, it's fucked up.
Well, she's not wrong.
As you will,
Like when
Good human is.
as your aunt said, as you all step out, you see the carriage with the mechanical ponies ready for you, face the way that you need to go.
The same driver sitting there. He doesn't move or look at anyone. He's just like staring directly ahead.
Once we leave, is there still like any sensors like above or around us?
No,
Because it lasts for an hour. Okay, good.
no. When you
And
leave,
under
it's like
concentration.
yeah. It seems like all of those sensors are inside for the use of the restaurant.
Okay.
Oh, thank God I can drop this damn
Yeah,
disguise.
I feel like now's probably the best. I should have put, like, I feel like now's probably the best time for you to drop anything you need, and also feel free to speak. Like I just like got a bit of a orangey glow throughout.
But so you guys get back in the coach and start leaving.
Jonas Jonas does not.
Okay.
So are you guys going to get in the coach? So Jonas is not getting in the coach. Is anyone else going to not, or are you, the rest of you just going to leave in the coach?
Does he just have to leave on his own, or is it looks
are
like
you
you're in a
not-
conversation?
What is Jonas
Are you
doing?
not coming with? Yeah.
Uh,
Jonas is
I'm
Arctis
just-
is asking Jonas, like, are you not coming with?
I'm just gonna go run a quick errand before heading back.
Would you like some company?
This is entirely up to you. I'm going to go visit my mother.
You know what? That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Are we all gonna go visit Jonas' mum
I mean,
now?
we saw Anaya's family. Can we meet your family?
You're welcome to. I mean, to be fair, you'll probably meet her when we go do the care house stuff, because that's where she
Maybe
is.
it might be nice to have prior
An
introductions.
introduction.
You can say
We're
no.
not that formal, but you're more than welcome to come.
Farah, I'm gonna come along with you, but I might just wait outside while you have your meeting.
Or the meeting, but
I more saying I'd like some fresh night air.
I might join you
anyone who
on
wants
that
to come,
actually.
welcome to.
Agnes is
You
also
can
coming.
come, and
Yeah,
I look
yeah,
at. I look
Fire's
at
also coming.
No, I'm mainly sort of like
Wait, can we
Join
just
along
ask
with
the
Farah.
parrot to take us to the care house?
I would rather vote personally.
ew.
As soon as you,
Poor
as soon-
district.
when you say that, like, hey, maybe we could take the carriage, it immediately starts turning around.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Like, without even being like, you don't even vocalize like, hey, you don't even ask the guy directly. You just vocalize your your idea, and the carriage immediately starts just doing a 180.
The care house is that way.
Yeah, it's pointing conveniently in the direction of the care house now.
No, the other direction.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Again, a night walk sounds nice.
I'd second that. Not that I'm not grateful.
There's nothing wrong with a night walk between friends, right?
It's a,
Wait,
it's a
we
good,
are
good opportunity
friends,
to
I think.
digest food.
Awkwardly
Well,
looks at
that's fine
fancy
too.
dress.
Right, we are going to the smoke district.
Yes, that's what I was going to
Wait,
mention.
smoke or spark? Where's the
No.
Smoke.
It is
I
the smoke.
assume
I
smoke.
thought so.
No.
Yeah.
Are you
That's a great district.
guys taking the carriage?
I feel like no is the answer.
I suppose before we head off,
What
if-
time of night is it? Because it might be worth stopping back if we have an opportunity to come out again
It's around.
while everyone's.
It's like 8 p.m. ish. You know that
What
it
time do the gates close?
to the school, probably around 10, and
We can
probably
go back there and just train.
it's
you
probably around bedtime, like soon for the people at the care house. Like they probably got an hour.
Ooh.
there are ways back in.
No, it's mostly because, well, if we go now, everyone's dressed up, but there's a
Well-
curfew at the care house.
You mentioned it's in the smoke district, right?
It is. There's a
How many of you can actually breathe safely there?
I assume Jonas can, but I don't actually know that for a fact.
Looking at the party and just generally if anyone's actually got proper, smoke protection, I guess.
I've never
And
actually
Ira is in
been.
a fancy dress and heels with like jewelry on her horns and crap. She is not prepared for the smoke district at all.
What day are we supposed to go to the smoke
The next
district?
day.
Tomorrow.
It is the next day, okay. Well, how about, it's just happens to be poor timing. We'll go extra early tomorrow, and I'll give everyone an introduction. How does that sound? That way we're not putting ourselves and potentially others in danger. Because if we go in the smoke district, we
I
all
mean-
will get jumped, and it will be a
What-
fight.
I mean, Agnes has been there before, like through the smoke district without a thingy, like without any sort of like breathing protection. Because like when we went there to go to the bar.
We didn't go smoke.
No, we avoided that in the end.
Oh no,
We
it was
got
just,
we got stopped at the gate.
That's right. It was just before.
We
smoke,
were
but, like,
trying to go down
never
there.
mind. She hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither with
That's
Violet.
right. I forgot. I forgot that it was just that.
We'll
side.
just go tomorrow, it'll be far easier.
Okay. I
Okay.
still think I'm going to
So-
walk back.
If we
I
can
agree.
make it back in time, sure.
like to think we've done a fair bit for school. Might be a little bit more lenient towards us.
So you'll choose to walk back?
As you do.
When you all decide to walk back, the door to the coach closes. You see like a light infuse like down the legs of the horses and through the wheels of the coach, and it starts to just clop away down the road, and it just clops directly into the air.
It can fly!
Called it.
It's like clop clop clop, and then the sound just ends of the horses walking as it just goes straight like just off the road and just like horizontal through the air, and then starts spiraling down the hill through just like above the road.
Going
It's a
home.
Jurassic Park soundtrack.
I wanted it to just be like it's a shitty JPEG and just goes up.
It is a stand of
I
VT.
imagined that.
Reminds me of Dimitri's clipping goats or whatever they were.
Fuck the goats.
I can imagine someone just like in like Photoshop is just like cutting that out and just clicking drag it up.
As you all
So,
get ready to walk back.
Anaya will probably take her heels off because screw walking back in heels.
Fair enough.
We get jumped.
No, you're in the fancy district. Of course you don't.
Please,
need
we don't
to.
get jumped in fancy district.
There's actually like guards here that actually make the road safe.
Just checking. I'm just wondering if this.
They still doing
extra D8 to my initiative was gonna come in.
How heavy is Anaya? Just sheer curiosity.
Not
With
heavy
what
at
she's
all.
wearing, she wouldn't be heavy at all, right? Yeah.
She's wearing a pretty lightweight. It's not like a big fancy poofy dress. It's just a nice looking dress, so it's light still.
Yeah. It's a weird offer because I'm not sure what you see me as, but if your feet start to hurt at some point, I can probably just push you like through the air.
My feet don't hurt, but can you do that anyway?
I mean, I can. I guess for the first 10 minutes of the walk, I'll push you via levitate.
Back.
Okay.
Yep.
Are any?
Sorry about that. Anaya will sort of shake her head and go, "Oh, it's fine. I'm
I mean,
sure I can."
yeah, you'll see
handle it."
pretty quickly an example of what it's like with Agnes.
You just tie a rope around like her and just walk along with her being pulled behind you like a balloon.
Big balloon.
And then eventually she just falls.
Yeah, she's just like, yeah, this is so much fun!
And then the 10 minutes will end, and
Thump.
Yeah, just
Drop.
immediate slam.
Just because I imagine Agnes is like a cartoon character. Like almost immediately when she starts levitating, you just upside down,
Yeah,
and it's like
she's
just spiraling through the air,
I-
but then
I
you
know, I mean, like-
conveniently land on your butt.
Some would say she's ovulating in the air.
star-shaped, like, just like slowly spinning.
You're doing what in the air?
Ovulation.
Is that the best word you could think of to use here?
Yes, because
Am I
gravity.
getting my English mixed up, or
No, I don't think so.
Ovulation is the process in which a mature egg is released from the ovary.
yeah?
That's
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what
okay.
everyone
That
else was
wasn't my
thinking.
fault.
She's a chicken.
No, I got it wrong. Sorry, like I put a V there by
Oscillating?
accident. Also, yeah, I put a V instead of an S.
Nah, you're just
Oscillating.
ovulating.
Did you mean oscillate?
Yeah, she's ovulating. Yeah, oscillate.
Like
Sorry,
a
I
fan?
no, like sorry, I put a V instead of an S.
Becoming a woman.
Yeah, move or swing back and forth in a regular rhythm.
Yeah,
Okay.
oscillate.
I was gonna say, I'm like.
No, I just put
Did
a
she just say she's like?
I put a V instead of an S.
Yeah,
there.
we know. We'll move past it. So what's the group gonna do? Well, like, are you gonna have a conversation while you walk, or are you just gonna make your way back in awkward silence?
Honestly, Farah's not even making it awkward. She's just very happy to be walking with people that she can kind of trust for once.
Hmm.
This is Farah being happy, okay?
No, it's fine.
Your aunt Anaya is.
Really nice.
She's a lot of woman. That's what I'll say.
I've heard that before in far less nice terms. She is a lot, but she's a good woman.
I imagine she is. She is a lot. But being in such a position that I'm sure she's in, it probably pays dividends.
Yeah, I think it certainly does.
Did you take a liking to her, Eunice?
What's your AC? That doesn't matter. Magic missile.
Shield?
No,
I don't have shield, I don't think. What do I have? I have shield of faith, damn it.
I'm joking.
You don't carry a shield all the time?
I do not.
I mean, was a nice woman, a bit intense, but
I'm messing with you.
yeah,
I insight what Jonas just said.
sure, if you would like to. Oh, I don't think I can beat that. Hang on, let me find deception real quick.
That +1
That's
doing
a
work.
-1.
No.
Even I
Um,
passively incite that.
If you would like to.
No.
He sweats, like you see perspiration when the subject of your aunt is brought up, and a noticeable stutter. Mind you, he doesn't talk particularly well most of the time, but it seems that your aunt left an impression on him, and not particularly in a good or a bad way, but in a overbearing and get put in your place kind of way. Especially not being from any sort of nobility, to know how to what's what I'm looking for, like save face in those sort of situations.
If I might add, though, I was a little thrown off by her knowledge of language.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird when she asked us what our intentions with the Naya were. But apart from that, she was cool.
Wasn't that when an Ironfire weren't there?
Yes.
Yep.
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 She did
Damn,
what now?
why didn't I take invisibility? Yep.
I got C invisibility, that's all I felt.
When did she ask this, Agnes?
I think Anaya. It was just after Anaya had left the table to. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where she went.
So this would
But
be
I think
after I dropped.
Yeah, you'd left, and then a little while had gone past, and then Anaya left, and then she asked us what our intentions with Anaya were, and what we wanted to do after we graduated, and what our plans for the future were. And I mean, she did help me out in that sense, because I told her like what I want to do, and she gave me someone I should find to help me
That's good.
get into the Feywild.
Anaya's just kind of gone quiet with all of this for the rest of the trip back, and may even kind of divert a little from the group.
I wish to send Queenie to try and sit on Anaya's head.
Anaya doesn't react to it.
I don't say it out loud, I just sort of telepathically am like, go sit with her.
It just perches on one of her horns.
Yeah.
I do have one
Starts
question
pecking
for-
at like the silver, like the silver horn thing covering. It's just like, ooh, shiny.
I do have one question, Farah.
Yeah?
Were you trying to figure out information or something from Queenie when you went off for a bit, or?
I
Does-
have my reasons. Surely you
I-
can trust me enough to understand I wouldn't have any malicious
No.
intent.
No, I just was wondering if you maybe had found something or figured something that I maybe didn't. I knew that's Queenie can you can use Queenie senses as your own, so I
Can you not
Didn't-
do that with Crystal and
hey,
Kay? Yeah.
Do I look like a
that-
familiar to you?
they're not exactly familiars per se
You're
in
not
that
familiar
sense.
with them?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
they're
pretty familiar with them.
No,
We've
just
been hanging around for a while.
such as the spell find familiar in that sense.
Diverting your question 101.
It's kind of they're separate. I can't. No.
No, it's all right. I understand. Is that all?
I just was mainly wondering if there was like something there, or just honestly I think I can can kind of understand the other reasoning, but I just didn't know if there's something else that I didn't notice because I'm not the best at noticing a lot of things.
No, without any real context given, I understand how it looked. I just simply felt sick in the stomach.
I think I can kind of understand a bit of that.
You okay now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it the plate?
I mean, it shouldn't have been the food. She didn't have any.
Yeah, it was just breakfast. That's all.
I'm gonna make an insight check against that. Motherfucker, I can't beat that! I can't beat that! I'm gonna roll, but I can't beat that. No, but I can roll a 3.
You're distracted as far as saying this because Queenie just starts going caw, caw, caw
Also,
from
Forrest
behind
been
you
at
all.
this a fair while.
It's okay. It's okay. I honestly kind of was half deciding on to eat myself.
From
Hey.
what I seen, everything looked lovely, and I'm sure what I had would have been nice too. I just, as I said, was sick.
It was good, but it was too good.
Yeah, Queenie's just like cawing up a storm behind. If you guys look back, you notice that Anaya has fallen back like several meters behind the party.
Mm-hmm.
Naya?
Yeah,
Stops
that's.
and waits.
Is Queenie telling me something in particular?
She's just like, hey,
Just
we're
being
going
like-
away. We're trying. She's trying to
Yeah.
sneak.
Mm-hmm. Then in that case,
like,
I will
silent.
briefly sort of. I walk next to Crystal, make sure I don't trip over, and holding onto Crystal's shoulder, I will look through Queenie's eyes briefly to go back there, just to see
So
if
gives
I
a
can look or
piggyback.
hear anything in particular.
You're on Anaya's head, and you can see like the rest of you walking a few meters ahead, or come to a stop depending on what you want to do.
Agnes
Um,
stop.
Yeah, it's just she's just corner being like, yo, she's trying to, she's falling back. Never let you know.
Am I? What does this sound? While I'm like, I only lose my sight and vision, right?
hmm
But I could use Queenie's eyes to guide myself over there.
Yeah, it'd be really weird walking in third person, but it's possible.
It's not even
I
third person, that's second person.
I don't think about it, and I attempt to do that as I sort of fall back
Wait,
a little.
how far behind is she?
Just make a dex check for me.
Yeah.
She's only like a few meters back,
Yeah,
but
so,
like,
can't you
yeah.
just look at Anaya and walk there with yourself?
So you
I'll
turn,
be an
you're like,
extra.
from watching yourself through Queen's eyes, you do the thing like you just like turn to the left and like kind of overcorrect, have to go back a little bit, and you start walking in the direction of Queen, but your face is like blank-eyed. You don't trip.
Somehow.
I will
Don't turn to
return my
Agnes.
vision.
She just delete her equilibrium.
It seems like that because you have to like stop after a few steps and like recorrect your angle as well again and keep going.
That's so weird. That's
like-
like,
I will
So,
return my vision after
slight
that point.
faking.
I will sort of lean into Anaya's ear. You have ears, right?
Yeah, she's got sort of pointed ears behind her horns. She
Yeah.
does have like her glasses off, and she just seems to be sort of fidgeting with her glasses, cleaning them and stuff.
Mm-mm. Perhaps that offer might not be a bad idea, or I can hang back a little with you.
What? Sorry.
Just be prepared,
Or-
and I will. Is this a touch spell? I'm just trying to remember.
Finger of Death? No,
Yes.
it's actually a range spell.
It is
What?
within 6 feet.
Is
Shield
Anaya
touch,
still
also a range
walking,
spell.
Or she just like stood there?
Inflict wounds is a touch spell.
No,
But if you cast it
wasn't
range,
walking.
I will. I was going to
Walking at
offer.
a slower pace, but now
Yeah,
that
okay,
like
yeah.
Kara's approached, she's kind of stopped because she's
Yeah,
like,
no, no.
what's
I
going on?
was going to cast levitate on touch instead of the 60. You get what I mean, and sort of princess carry.
Yeah.
If that's not a problem.
Style?
Yeah, you scoop Anaya up in your arms.
You skip Anaya up and you tuxedo mask away from the group in the air.
I was going to say, she would feel fairly weightless at the moment, I imagine. I think that's how it would work. I'm trying to imagine how levitation would feel.
Sent some family coming.
Yeah, I guess you'd feel weightless.
What is Farah doing?
You are scooped up. I think bridal style is the term, as you have levitate cast on you.
Anaya looks so unbelievably confused and uncomfortable.
Farah doesn't care.
Oh.
So, Anaya, why didn't you bring Fluffles? Wait, did you bring Fluffles tonight?
Yeah, she would have brought Mrs. Fluffles.
Where is Fluffles?
Where's Fluffles?
All you hear is.
Probably attached to someone.
You know how like people have like, feather
Yeah.
boas?
Yeah, I was just gonna say she's wearing him like one of those like fox scarves.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, where's Mr. Fluffles? And it just goes from like around Anaya's neck.
Yeah, that's fine. Fluffles has been quiet tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, he was a gift from my aunt, so he probably knows to behave.
I'm just trying to strike up random conversation to distract her from whatever's bothering her.
She is still pretty much as quiet as she can be.
It was, despite my behavior, it was good to meet your family. I one day might offer to introduce you to mine more officially.
That would be nice.
Well, the ones that are... never mind. Anyway, yeah, if you feel like you're uncomfortable or at any point, let me know. And we'll keep walking.
I'll be honest, I am incredibly uncomfortable. I'm not the biggest person on being touched.
Yeah, but you seem like you didn't want to walk. Or at least you wanted to think.
No, I'm capable of walking. It's just a little hard with no shoes.
Well, then I'll carry you for a bit and then you can go back to walking. If you feel like you want to... If you feel like you don't want to walk after that, my offer is still there.
You really don't need to carry me. It's alright.
Assume we see these two walking
yeah.
back, and like this uncomfortable aura just radiates from them.
It's like 5 or 6 meters away. So yeah, you see this.
It's one thinking they're doing the right thing and the other one's uncomfortable.
And Agnes just sees that she's like picking her up and being like, "Oh, are your feet hurting?"
It's fine.
Say, Queenie, what do you think of Fluffles? Okay, and what does Fluffles think of Queenie?
Mr. Fluffles wants to eat Queenie.
That's not a surprise.
Quite a menagerie.
Unfortunately, I think that might be a little more difficult for anyone.
Well, how about instead of this, we do this instead, and I touch Agnes's shoulder and I say, "You're it," and I run off.
Agnes immediately chases him. She's like, "Hey, no fair!
You can't tag the person that just tagged you. You got to tag somebody else.
Is that a rule?"
Yep.
It is now.
I just made it up.
She'll quickly double back, tap Violet, and then bolt up to like where Jonas is going.
She touches Violet. Crystal's like, "I've got this," and he reaches out with like a force hand towards towards Agnes.
I give Crystal a high five as she goes to do
Just
so.
like, okay, and then she'll just tag Crystal. Just be like, "You can be it then."
No,
and
no,
then
you tag me, and then I like turn to Crystal as Crystal turns to me, and then I just give her like a high five as she just goes.
Yeah, and Crystal just takes off after somebody.
And she's got 40 feet.
Wonder who that
I mean,
is.
if she's taking off, she's gonna be running after Jonas. So-
Listen, we all know who they're going after.
Yeah.
I would like to second win double dash. I would like to be fucking
You
gone
play Mario Kart?
if I see that happens.
It's like you like run a little bit away, and it's like, yeah, tag, and then you get Crystal. Crystal turns, like the shoulders don't move, just the head moves in your direction, Jonas, and the eyes flick orange and just turns running in your direction.
Can I cast Flame Stride?
Sure, why not? You guys begin an impromptu game of tag in the middle of the street.
I like to think like for Violet, it's just the sort of thing of like I'm just gonna let Crystal do it because I don't want to be a part of this right now. That was Rebecca.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what just happened there.
My whole
Yeah.
business crashed.
So the Crystal takes it, goes around, tags someone. Tex is moving around. At some point, Anaya or Farah get pulled into the mess, I assume.
Probably, unless they all just run off ahead.
You gotta come back and tag the
The
slow
goal
ones.
was to get everyone involved.
Kay like flies down at one point, just like lands on Anaya. It's
I'm
like
being
Kay.
levitated.
Yeah.
I mean, I can drop that at any point. When I see,
Probably-
yeah, you know what? When I see Kay coming, I will actually like lightly place her down and end the concentration, and sort of step a few steps away.
Kay like floats down, lands on Anaya's head, is like Kay, and then takes off again. As you can assume that now,
Does Kay
now
make
you're
a
it.
sound when they
Yes.
fly? Like, is it?
I feel like it's like
Or
the
a
buzzing of like wings.
It's mechanical wings, but it's the sort of slight enchanted to be like actually proper like fairy wings in that sense. So it's like a proper fluttering of wings.
As you make your way back,
Probably backfire, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then I'd have to catch up to
She
someone.
does not chase after though, she still just stays back walking slow.
Same with Violet herself as well.
Yeah, I will actually ignore Violet in this case and chase after the head of the crowd.
you guys as most of you play a game of tag as you make your way back up, attempting to lighten the mood. Anaya's like, "Nine," and Violet, you abstain from the game of tag as also 9.
Yeah.
Eventually, you make it back up to the academy gates, where you get back just in time so you don't miss curfew. And by that I mean you guys are like an hour and a half early, so it's not like a big deal.
I'm saddened
Yeah.
by this news.
And yeah, you spend the rest of the night how you do. Make your way back to your rooms at some point. Sleep the night away.
Probably moonbathing for a bit.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to climb to the roofs, I notice.
Is there anything anyone wants to do back at the academy before you all rest? With the your internship starting the next day?
Nothing to my knowledge, no.
Dennis has a restless night's sleep.
I actually am willing to invite someone up with me.
Huh?
I want to invite someone up to the roofs with me. I sort of, before we all split and go our separate ways, I assume minus Violet and Naya are a little bit more further behind. I sort of look. Would any of you like to join me on the roof?
Or
I'm alright, sorry, I'm quite tired.
That's all right. Just a bit of rest. In the moonlight. I'm not a werewolf.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I would like that, yeah.
well,
And should
I'll
like turn
have
to
pass. Got a big day ahead of us tomorrow, and I gotta get up early.
Mm-hmm.
as
We'll
I
see,
like
see you in the morning.
as I say yes, I'd like turn to Crystal. If you could just turn to my room, I'll make sure to do the adjustments I need to before sleep. And like turn to Kay's like follow along with her. And I'll just sort of go, yeah, just myself, with Farah.
So yeah. Was Agnes as well, or was she gone to her room?
No, Agnes is in.
Okay, so that's 3 of us. Why do I keep convincing you two?
The influence.
What time is the work experience, Jonas? It's probably like a little before lunchtime. So like you guys have the morning in the academy and you gotta head down there, and instead of like for the first day it's like, oh, meet up at like 11 or 12, etc.
But yeah, I will lead those two up to the spot I found that's sort of got enough room to sort of relax there. Have you two ever considered jumping? Just sheer curiosity.
Yeah, bro, have you ever considered just jumping off the roof?
But
Oh
like
my god.
jumping in just like up and down.
Yeah, sure.
'Cause, yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's not that far, Naya. God damn.
How high up is it?
The highest point I could find.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever the
Um,
highest point in the school is that we can sort of relax there without just falling.
Looks over like how far the drop is. Well, why would you ask? Why?
It's just idle talk, that's all. After things went on, you know, all the stuff started to die down. You all know how I sort of couldn't find Queenie for a while, right? I don't think they would know, but...
I mean,
Yeah.
I know that she wasn't around. She wasn't with you.
So like, sit down, like, just take a seat. Somebody's like, I don't recall being told anything that.
Well, it was from this point I decided on the last day I wanted to take a leap of faith.
You jump?
Yeah. It was invigorating in a way. You surprisingly have a lot of time to think while falling.
Know that fire has for the fall.
No,
I don't
think we've seen a cast a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, wait, you just hit the ground? Are you? And it didn't hurt?
No, it wasn't anything dangerous. It's just the sort of feeling you get as the wind rushes past your skin. I was just curious if either of you have experienced anything like that before.
No, I
I-
have not.
I mean, it sounds cool. If there's no chance of being hurt, it's just like flying in reverse.
Well, assuming
I
the sc-
don't think I'd like that time.
if the school hasn't changed their... Actually, no, the school was never against transmutation magic anyway, were they?
No.
Some.
I'd more mean like Featherfall,
Well,
they didn't stop.
Yeah, Featherfall's fine.
No, Featherfall was not illegal.
Well,
Featherfall
All the
is
self
definitely not
is.
I think before I go to bed tonight, I just want to spend a bit of time with a few people that I feel like I needed to be nicer to, which is all of you.
You don't have to be nicer to us. You're nice already.
Thinks back. No.
It's not like I don't think I should. I don't think you have to be nicer to someone who hasn't done a lot, to be honest. I haven't really done much.
Ah, well, all the same, it's I did only get both of you in trouble, so I can't imagine people were too happy to find that one out.
When?
When we basically got pulled in, arrested,
Hmm.
that.
Oh yeah, when we went out that night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Father
but I
didn't-
mean,
Father
nothing
didn't like
happened
hearing
because of
that.
that.
I will
Yeah.
admit, Father didn't like hearing that at all.
They
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
punish us or anything. Like nothing came of it.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, I think we should just lay here for a bit and then... I mean, you two can head back whenever you're ready. And don't slip, please.
I think like Violet's like still sort of kind of looking down, just in that sense. What made you jump?
I don't know. It was a feeling. As I
Good.
said, it was a leap of faith. I felt if nothing else was going to bring Queenie back to me, then perhaps getting closer to where Queenie went might have been what was needed. Being more in tune with nature.
To get closer to her.
Where was she?
I don't think I actually know the answer to that one. To the best of my knowledge, Queenie was not allowed back to me for a bit.
I can imagine that probably wasn't easy.
Yeah, that's the nicest way to put it. But yeah, as I said, please don't fall.
I don't think I could anyway.
But yeah, I come up here probably once every couple of nights. It's a nice thinking spot. And well, I haven't been. Vost hasn't told me off yet, so. Come to think, but I don't know if
Jumping
Vost.
off?
Yeah, I was about to say, has Vost seen me jump off at all?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay,
You
just making
hope
sure.
not.
Hmm.
That'd be a railing otherwise.
You wouldn't be allowed outside otherwise.
There'd been an alarm spell specifically tailored towards you on all the roofs.
It's not that bad.
As you all finish with your conversation,
Yeah, once that comes down, Farah says, well, I'm gonna head to bed, and steps off the edge.
Ah! Agnes
Yeah.
like looks over the edge to like watch.
I'm sort of sitting like kind of a little bit like on the ledge, just sort of watching.
Yeah, she doesn't activate it till like the last second.
Splat.
Int safe.
But
How
yeah,
you
no,
fall, you land safely, as Featherfall works, the way it works.
it's an innate thing for the edge
yeah,
Nazis,
you
so
just
Yep.
slowly, as you're reaching the ground, she seems to like acquire terminal velocity, and then it slows
Slow.
down, and then
You acquire it, then you unacquire it.
and yeah, she lands on the ground and starts walking back into the castle as if like nothing happened.
should probably glance up to make sure Agnes doesn't jump, actually.
Well, I guess I could kind of give it a try. No, and then Agnes
Please.
will. She doesn't jump, but she'll cast spider climb and like just run down the edge.
That works.
As you cast spider climb, you start running as fast as you can down the side of the building.
You
You
trip.
trip, you almost fall off, but then you stay on the building.
It's like you trip and you tumble down, but you're just like tumbling along the wall, and then you just get back up and keep running.
Why do I feel like if someone's on the other side of that wall, it would have been hurt?
And
This is why I think Agnes is just like a 6-year-old. Just situations like this.
then I assume at some point Violet leaves
It'd
the
probably be a little
rooftop.
bit more.
Not
It'd probably be a little bit more like sitting and thinking, just especially just like sort of how Farah sort of worded things, and then just sort of eventually sort of gets herself up, just kind of looks a bit over again one more time, and then just sort of goes down the way she came.
and as you all eventually make your way to bed for the morning after, that's what we'll call break.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great after the implications.
Great implication. What do you know about?
Yeah, we're becoming friends here.
We're not suicidal, right?
I'm not.
Friend. Friend.
How did you like our
Yeah.
talking with the Baron of the City puzzle?
She's
I'm terrified, but you know, interested.
She was less obviously hoity-toity than I was imagining. Like, I was imagining as soon as she saw Agnes, and like, because like Agnes is not like, you know, of any special title or like, you know, person of power, she like would have brushed her off a little bit more, like more obviously, just been like, oh, Agnes, I don't recognize your name. Like, oh, I'm not special, and just be like, whatever.
I think she sort of dissuaded that whether she's like, I haven't eaten rat in 15 years. Just like, she ate a rat?
But yeah, there wasn't.
That was a fast climb.
Everything in the conversation was a curveball,
Yep.
It felt good. It was interesting.
and I haven't played Go Ball in ages.
But yeah, no, fun little lawyer. She used to be a Stormcaller captain, so it's like she's had rough times. She's definitely eaten things that most nobles don't expect to eat.
She's
Hmm?
earned her place.
Oh, she's one of the characters that definitely earned their position. I like her. She's a bitch.
One of the few people who've earned their position.
Yeah, not just being born into it.
Ow.
Her birthright's another thing entirely.
Oh no. That's another can of worms. I'm not going to it.
Yeah. Just a good roleplay.
Yes, you gotta have the lull before things get suspenseful. Because now there's the chaos. We gotta start off with a good wholesome scene of, I'm assuming Jonas is gonna go see his mom.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
Get to have positive mom energy.
Hope you're all ready for another curveball.
Just one thing. I don't think I actually added the skill gain I get from my Fey touched feat.
Skill?
Yeah, I get extra spells and can like pick intelligence, wisdom, or charisma to increase by 1. I don't think I actually did that. Looking at
Then
my
do it.
stuff.
Do it? If you haven't.
Do it!
I already changed the thing. I'll change them properly after. For
Yeah, like
for the session.
So don't.
But yeah, we're on break. Let's do break discussion. Mario review trailer came out. It was pretty good.
No.
Jack Black's gonna make
I
a
haven't
good
seen
fuck.
Jack Black as Bowser, which I thought was pretty fucking
Jack
cool.
Black's gonna be a good Bowser. We need to hear more Chris Pratt Mario to see what Chris Pratt Mario is doing.
Now I gotta Google it.
But yeah,
Back.
I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good movie. It looks very well made.
Wait, what movie?
Mario.
Oh. Most people are just angry about Chris Pratt.
Yeah, well, they could have had it.
Literally, the only argument I've seen really for it is Chris Pratt. So, Chris Pratt is playing Pratt as Mario, whereas the other actors are apparently sounding more like they're actually playing the character.
We're in the.
From the
Yeah,
trailer.
how do you do an Italian accent with no experience of an Italian accent
Yeah, I was like,
without
yeah.
sounding racist?
Oh no, I'm
Yeah, like
saying.
what is Chris Pratt supposed to do?
A Brooklyn
I'm saying I
accent.
feel like the arguments are very stupid.
A Brooklyn accent. I've had people complaining that it's an isekai. It's like, you fools. Mario's always been an isekai.
Yeah. I usually literally was thinking, like, okay, cool. We've got confirmation that Mario is an isekai. It's like good to know.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll show truck one.
Fucking, like, Digimon's an isekai. You don't know about that. And I watched, like, Digimon came out in, like, 1999. It's like, yeah, it was. It's really good.
Just really wasn't a term then.
It's been around for
Or at
ages.
least it wasn't the same level of the term we have now for it.
People are sick of isekais. I'm eating up all the isekai manga. Give me your stupidest thing ever. I'll watch it. I'll read it. I'll make a stupid anime reference to it in my D&D game.
Oh wait, did My Hero's new season start recently, or am I crazy?
I think so. They were showing a bunch of gifs about Mirko.
'Cause I feel like there has been absolutely none of the usual sort of advertisements I'd see for it.
It's because 1,000
Or
Years
the-
Blood War is coming out the same fucking week, and that's 10 times better.
Yeah, I just feel like
1,000
I've
Years Blood War comes out the day before Chainsaw Man.
That's such a baller move to do. If it was the same day, I'd have like an actual like headache because it's like, which one's gonna be good?
But yeah, regarding isekais, the only other one I was meant to look at or waiting to look at was Devil is a Part-Timer.
That's good. That's a good
It's a
isekai.
fun series.
Did they ever actually release the new season?
I think, yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
Okay, I haven't gotten around to watching it then.
I think it might have been confirmed for season 3, but that I'm not sure about.
I mean, knowing them, they'll wait another 12 years and then release it.
I mean, they had to catch up to the manga or the visual novel, not visual novel, light novel. I'm not entirely sure what the gap is between the two. I think it's on a monthly, so they could have literally just been waiting for enough content to make a season about.
Okay, having just watched the Mario trailer, I like Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great trailer. I now want to actually watch the
I think
movie.
the penguin's the best character.
Oh god, yeah, they're great.
Do you yield?
Do you yield? I was like, is there gonna be Luigi in this movie? I hope there's Luigi, and then Luigi at the end. I'm like, fuck yeah, Luigi.
Luigi's
Like one
by
more.
Charlie Day, which I think is also going to do a very good role. I think Charlie Day has Luigi energy.
Yeah, I do
The
think
trailer was good.
I don't really know
Easily-
anything about Charlie Day. I think the only thing I've seen him in was like 2012, like when I was in high school.
I can see why people say that it's like, oh, Chris Pratt Mario. Mario is easily the weakest part of that trailer, which is ironic given it's a Mario thing, and
Yeah.
Bowser and the freaking penguins are easily the strongest part.
But like,
I'm actually waiting to see how Keegan-Michael Key does his Toad.
it was pretty
That's
good.
what I want to see.
I was just gonna say, I was literally just about to look up who did the Toad because I couldn't remember.
But like,
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
gonna be like,
and now I
or
need
it's
to
gonna be,
look up who-
yo, what's up, man?
we need to hear more of Mario for me to get an
Okay.
opinion.
I think that's what a lot of people are jumping to, unfortunately. It's like,
I think the consensus is people watch like Charles Martinet is there,
Yeah.
and then are like, you should have asked
Isn't he
him,
credited?
huh?
Isn't he
He's gonna be
credited?
like he's gonna be in the movie just as some characters, and I'm pretty sure, like, from what I've gathered
Just
from
like
Twitter,
miscellaneous ones?
yeah, I'm pretty sure from Twitter that he didn't want to do the role because Mario puts a strain on his voice, and so
Sorry, I'm back.
doing a
Which
2-hour movie, it's not a thing.
Okay, fair.
yeah, it makes sense. It's looking out for
But
himself.
it's also just like,
Just hire me.
like, yeah, I'd just be like, maybe a voice actor, like an actual voice actor. You could go Jack Black as Bowser. That could be your big fucking star.
Jack Black
that's
works.
gonna,
Well,
that's
Jack
gonna.
Black is a voice actor, though.
He is, but he's also
Jack Black is more a voice
He's a
actor than he is
character
an
actor.
IRL
he's a
actor.
character actor. But the thing is that he's enough to sell seats. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's your like celebrity grab.
I don't-
Be like Jack Black. Is
I don't. Everyone was beaming on fucking Chris Pratt the moment he was announced. I'm like,
It was funny though.
I felt like I felt I was gonna do more harm than good.
Honestly,
Also,
also.
shoot confirmed. Yes, no, you're right. Season 3 for Devil is Part-Time is confirmed for 2020.
They announced season 3 of Vox Machina after season 2 is gonna be made in
Yeah.
January. That's Pog. They had a good.
Season 2, yeah?
Huh? No, they announced that season 3 is gonna be a thing after season 2 is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's this?
Vox Machina, Legend of Vox
The
Machina.
Legend of Vox Machina.
Oh shit.
I should really catch up on that.
Yeah, I probably finished it. I watched like a third of it.
I still have the last like.
I
third
think they're
to go
both
through.
gonna be the Coma Conclave because that's a lot of content.
See, all I have to do.
But I could see.
AJ, I've just got to.
That's how you print
Yeah.
money.
Oh yeah, AJ. All I have to do, AJ, is I have to still yet never finish the Legend of Vox Machina show, just like I've never finished watching the 1st campaign of Critical
You're like
Role.
10 episodes out and it annoys me.
Really?
Speaking of
10?
which-
Only 10?
Oh,
AJ,
I think it's
have
even
you
less.
seen
You
this-
put so much work.
today's
I saw today's episode. It was a great episode. Matt did such a
I've only
good
seen
job.
The first half of it, but what I've seen, I'm like, this is amazing.
Matt did a great job. Spoiler alert, because I want to talk about it. But Matt voiced
That's fine.
Matt voiced Percy, Vexalia, Pike, and Caliph in the same episode, and was
Oh,
really
you forgot
good.
the other oh, spoilers already said the kids.
Oh yeah, and the kids were there.
Yes, it
The
was
kids were there
kids.
as well.
Aww.
I am blissfully ignorant to whatever's going on.
Matt's
I
Pike.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Matt's got a lot of experience with Pike because of what happened in season 1, and he didn't lose a beat with it. It's great.
She
That
just
must be really
okay,
difficult.
okay. Like, yeah. Calm down.
That
buddy.
must
You
be
get your
really difficult
professional.
trying to like voice like your PCs and try to get it as good as you can.
They're not PCs anymore.
Yeah, but like they
He-
were. That's
he
the thing.
explicitly states, he goes, no, she's mine now. Like, in that episode. I'm like, oh.
He did well. He got the mannerisms for Percy very well done, and for Vexalia.
Yes.
So I was very happy with the episode.
happy noises.
I look forward to watching the rest of it.
And
I got up to the part where they were in the. I assume the Shadowfell. Or I assume it is.
Cool place.
Up to the fight at the cabin
yeah.
was where I got to. Where I had to stop listening.
I remember tick if you are back.
Oh,
Or
sorry,
X.
that is 100% me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get back going.
Yeah, no, we don't need any more depression.
As you all wake up the next day, who is going to head off early with Jonas?
Yep.
I believe that was the plan.
I think that was
I feel-
everyone.
The
I
worst
think the
part
better
is I
question
have.
is, does Jonas wait for anyone, or you go off on your own?
It depends. What time does everyone normally get up?
You're
Naya is normally an early riser.
You're by far the earliest.
I
You come
feel
out
like-
before sunrise happens. That's just because how your training works. So if you want to take that into account, that you're gonna wait a bit more than
Yeah,
normal.
actually, well, I forgot to do this last time. I feel like Agnes would have actually like when before Jonas left last night, been like, what time do you want us to meet up to head out? Like she would have asked like, what time do you want to leave?
So the normal time is what? Just after lunch? Before lunch?
Just before lunch is when the thing starts, yeah.
Just before lunch, so say about 11 o'clock is when we would normally head down. We can head down at about 10,
Oh, okay, easy.
As you hear,
just a little bit early. However, when he does get up just before dawn,
Mhm.
he wants to go to the care house before without anyone first.
Okay.
So he walks all the way down there, like basically at dawn.
Yes.
as you go through the gates, you make your way down to the care house. The guards know you by now, both from your training and that you do this when you want to go see your mum. Eventually, you make your way down to the large U-shaped building that is the care house. You make your way. You go to the reception desk. They note your presence. They give you a nod.
I am not there to see Mum though.
Oh,
I ask if it's possible to speak to caretaker.
Oh. Oh no.
okay. The receptionist.
Oh,
The receptionist quickly has a look at like a booklet or a slab that's under her desk and just like quickly has a look at the times. He won't be in for another hour or so, but I can let him know that
Would
you're.
be happy to wait. It is very important.
Yeah, I'll. If you wait here when he comes in, I'll let everyone know. If you want to see your mother beforehand, you feel free. And she just directs you to one of the chairs in the lobby before you, or yeah, you can go upstairs.
He'll go see his mother for the hour prior.
Yeah.
Just to let her know that he'll be back with some friends. Just going to introduce to them. Just giving her a heads up because it's going to be a difficult conversation to have.
Yeah, you warn her ahead of time because you'll be doing a lot of translating.
Yeah, I'm going to get so much arthritis after this.
They
Oh shit.
She nods and like is surprised that you're here this early and like happy to see you, and then you explain that you'll be back in the afternoon, and she's like okay, and after an hour.
Yes, he spends a little bit of time while you have in the morning, like asking you about what you've been doing and stuff, and catching up with you before everyone's here. Fussing over your appearance. Yep. Asking if you've met any nice girls or boys.
Does not respond.
Or non-binary.
Or non-binaries, yeah.
Or anything in between.
Don't leave out my non-binary.
Any oozes.
Ones and zeros and all in between.
Any robots.
As you
Especially the 0.3.
eventually after the hour, like 50 minutes pass, you get up, you make your way, you say, oh, I have to go see someone, you go downstairs, you wait, and you see, as you get down there, you see this George Clooney looking guy, wearing like a brown coat, got a hat on that he's like taking off as he's talking to the receptionist, having a look at the schedule that he's got, and the receptionist points towards you, and he looks up, smiles, makes his way over.
Well, it's nice to see you. I've been told you've been waiting for me.
Yes, good morning, caretaker. I
You'd
have...
be... I'm sorry, you'd be Jonas. We care for your mother on the second floor, I believe?
Yes, yes you do.
Would you like to chat here or up in my office?
Up in your office would be better. It's a bit of a private matter.
No matter at all. And he leads you upstairs. He's carrying like a case with him, some stuff, and when he gets into his office, he like gets a key out and unlocks the door, and then goes in. You see like a large desk, and like the walls are covered in like one side's like got all these different books and tomes, and the other's got all alchemical reagents of different kinds. And you see the makings of like alchemy stationed behind his desk, where he would make potions on poultices or medicines. There's like a little hanger on the door, just next to the door, that's covered in keys. As you're at the very top floor of the care house, he sits there and goes, "Oh, come, have a seat. How can I help you?"
How do I go about this? You have been more than generous with the situation with me and my mother, and it is something I could never, ever hope to repay, no matter how hard I tried.
It's nothing you need to repay. Someone needs to take care of these people.
The thing is, I'm sure you're aware that later today, myself specifically and a couple of my friends be coming to do some sort of work experience here.
Oh, it's lovely to hear. I knew the experience groups were coming down. It's actually why I'm here as well. Normally I'm rather busy, but I've stopped in to give you all the grand tour myself. But it's nice to know that you are going to be part of the groups as well.
This is where a rather delicate matter comes in. I always believe in being able to return something in kind. So it's difficult for me to say this, but I believe you deserve to know you are going to be investigated. For not really sure exactly what, but myself and the group that I will be coming with has been given an ulterior motive, and I would feel terrible in not informing you, regardless whether it might be true or not. Everything you have done is more than I could ever imagine, and while I do hope that there is nothing to hide, on the very, very slim chance there might be, I feel responsible in informing you. No matter how this might affect my career, this is the decision I feel is best, and I stand by that.
He sits behind the desk. You can see like several emotions across his face. Initially, it's like confusion. We see the investigation, and then it's like he's listening carefully, and his face kind of like resolved to be like resolute. And he gets up from the chair and like walks over to the back wall where everything is, and just like stands there for a moment, looking down at all the implements he has. Then turns and is like, "Thank you. I understand that the situation has been could be very trying for yourself in a way of split loyalties, but there have always been people in the city who don't approve of what I do. I'm sorry you've been caught in the middle of all this. Feel free to investigate all you need to in order to get the grades you need. It won't matter. I haven't done anything wrong that would need investigating. All I do, as you know, is I help those who need help. So thank you for coming to me about this.
Jonas nods.
Is there anything they told you to specifically look for? Who knows, maybe I could help you out by leaving a door unlocked that is absolutely key that they want to get behind. He smiles.
Was there anything specific?
From what you guys read, you were basically told to investigate him.
Yeah, because it was like a.
Wasn't anything specific, I don't know.
It was like
Yeah,
a
just find
friend
what
of
you can.
his, which is like, hey, yo, there's a possibility something's going on. We don't know what it is. Just go see if you find anything, yeah?
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty
was
sure
the
that's-
conversation.
I'm pretty sure that's basically how it went down. It was
Yeah.
just like we've heard that some stuff might be up. See if anything is up and what it is.
No, nothing specifically, just to investigate.
Ah, well. You can have a little fun with them, maybe.
And Jonas gets up and goes, thank you again for meeting me, and thank you for everything you've done for both me and my mother. I will
No problem at
leave
all.
you to go about your day as you normally would, and I will see you later this afternoon.
He's like, I'll see you in about, looks at like your wrist that has nothing on it. About 2 and a bit hours.
Jonas nods and exits.
As you exit, do you go straight back to the school?
I do.
As you do, and everyone else wakes up and has their breakfast and is getting ready, you see there seems to be a group of maybe about 16 to 20 people. From when you have a look at them, you can gather what people are there. You see that there's people who go around calling them the P++. You've learned throughout your years that they're an alchemist club known as Potions ++. There's the Ghislaine Institute of Flower Society, or also known as Club Jeff. They are a bunch of druidic people. And then there's the Young Magician Conjuration Association, or the YMCA. And
I want to be a part of that.
Why am I not part of that?
Correction, I want Christine to be a part of that.
And they're all there ready. And there seems to be another group of like 5 people standing there. They're all very they're dressed up. They're not they don't look like they're leaving the group. They look like they're waiting for people. One of them's he's got the glasses that the lens flares covering their eyes at all times.
Nice.
Just 5 other very bookish-looking individuals waiting with the others.
Students.
Yeah.
Yeah, students.
I have one question
Sure.
for the YMCA. You say conjuration. Do they have familiars?
All of them.
Would I be familiar with any of them?
Familiar.
Probably at some point.
Stay.
Just because conjuration is one of the things Farah does actually care about.
Yeah, you probably met them before, but it's one of those situations where I'm potentially you applied to join this club at some point when you were feeling more studious, and then you were either refused due to obvious reasons, or you were kicked out due to obvious reasons.
This will be one of the first times I will openly say Farah is holding back fangirling.
My favorite club.
It's the one I wish I could be a part of.
Who would be the first to arrive? Would it be Jonas coming back, or would it be one of you coming down the stairs?
I imagine, Jonas, you got up pretty early to do this stuff.
Yeah, well, this is several hours before we were supposed to meet up.
I mean, Farah's sort of used to being up early due to reasons.
No, this is when Jonas comes back and everyone's everyone's ready to go. This is 10 a.m. sort of deal.
Then
I imagine Jonas sticks to a very tight time schedule, so if a time has been set, he is there at that time.
Same.
Farah will be waiting
Imagine-
around.
Imagine for Violet, she's actually there early because it's one of those sort of nervous things. What I have no clue what to expect. It's hard to sleep. I'm just gonna go now instead of sleeping.
Good then. As these 5 bespectacled magicians all walk up to you, so So you're the group who's taken over our position at this fine institution of internship.
Trying to weasel your way in where you're not welcome.
I'm sorry?
Are we not welcomed?
The Ghislaine Institute of Magical... scroll the way up.
Would you care to say that again?
1 second, I'm reading.
Sorry, what was your name again?
The Ghislaine Institute of Magic's magical application for Adventuring 101 applied entry to beginners. Theoretical Magics, or Gamma T, was supposed to take over this.
A name's so boring you had to say it twice.
And every year we've had this internship. What do you think you can just mosey on in and take it away from us just because you did a little goodwill?
Sorry, I mean, we didn't ask for this. They just kind of gave it to us.
Right, and we didn't ask to apply for it either.
Did you though?
What? No?
Of course we applied for it. You have to apply for it. This is why you don't get it. We always apply for it.
But we didn't apply for it.
Roll a charisma check.
Who?
Anyone who's like defending this point, they're not. You're not lying. You're just trying to tell them like what they want. Like you're trying to tell them the truth.
I'll assist you by not doing well.
AJ,
That's actually okay.
while they're doing their little discussion, I want to walk behind them all. Now, the people that are sort of up and at the others' faces, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you say they're all within 15 feet?
Oh,
Sure.
I'm going to make sure they don't come close enough to take damage, but I wish to lightning lure all of them and pull them back away from the group.
well,
You can only do one at a time.
I'm just asking if it was possible.
What's the
one of
saving
them.
throw?
Right.
It is a...
strength save.
Oh, it's one creature, yeah, I know that, but it is a strength save, yeah. DC
Okay.
50.
I'm going to say, because they're all distracted, and these are not very strong-looking individuals. You walk past them
they're
all.
wizards.
Exactly. You walk past them all. You throw out your lightning lure, and you just like yank them all, and there's just a chorus of "ahs" as they all get
Good
pulled
heavens.
backwards away from you.
I'm just trying to trip them over so I can go back to staring at the group I care about.
All of them fall.
Aw,
Yep, and then once that's done,
She only has eyes for us.
once that's done,
creepy.
I completely ignore their existence, go back over to where I was sort of standing and like staring over at the YMCA.
Yeah, she wasn't talking about us.
Ah.
Yeah, I know it wasn't us. I knew for a fact it wasn't us.
Aw.
This must be why you guys are theoretical and not practical.
Oh, surprised that you're even allowed to go there with that ruffian on your team.
And
Pointing at
ruffians
me
in
or
front of us
him?
too. Oh, all of you?
You pointing at her? Points to Crystal.
I don't even think she qualifies for
She's
it.
not even
She's
human.
She's a robot.
Ooh.
I gotta agree with them there.
So what if she's a robot?
How's a
Is
robot
it-
supposed
is
to
it-
care for somebody?
Is it just verbal or are they actually moving up to her?
They're not doing anything.
Oh yeah, they're doing the whole like they move as a pack, where like
Mm-hmm.
not a single one of them on their own doesn't have anywhere near the confidence to approach or antagonize, but all 5 of them will like step as one and be like, yeah, we're totally strong
Oh, yeah.
guys.
If you see,
I'm
Could they
totally
make any
imagining.
sort of,
if you,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
if you
The
guys,
West Side Story.
no, if you guys seen Koninka's Next Doors, are the delightful children from
Yep.
down the lane.
Yeah.
Like huddled like that. They
Yeah.
only move as a group.
And also that's why I was like lightning lure them.
So I want to say like I just like after hearing something like that, it's like almost like
Ah, fuck.
it's almost like the trigger where it's like you okay. She just like turn her head to Crystal, like have that mental command to just sort of make that like just sort of step forward, and then as she does, it's like she is much more than what you say she is.
You say
At the
that.
same
and then-
time that she steps forward, Jonas also steps forward, like to match distance.
all right.
Side to side, baby.
So I want both Jonas and Violet to make intimidation checks with advantage.
Agnes, well, like, as this is happening, Agnes was also, like, steps forward, but, like, in front of them to, like, stand in between the two
Yeah,
groups.
it's like
Yeah,
I
just
just,
holding them back.
To be like, okay,
I
okay,
just-
okay,
And now we lose the
I
advantage.
just imagine Jonas steps forward, like grasping him with the sword, like Crystal steps forward, like moving a thing, and Agnes steps forward, 2 hands on her hips, like yeah. I'm here too.
Jonas, I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh,
No,
Come on,
Agnes
come on,
isn't-
Violet.
Agnes isn't trying to help the intimidation. She's trying to like
I
just be
got a
Jesus
bad
Christ.
feeling
between
about
both the groups to like diffuse. Just be like, all right, guys.
Do you think your
I'm
mere
intimidated.
brawn will
We're
get
there.
to...
Hold on.
Wonder where your
Hold on.
charisma user is.
Look at that crystal together.
as you like,
But
as you two step forward, it's like, do you think your mere brawn is going to get over our collective brains and intelligence?
yes.
probably.
Oh, come on then. Hit me.
And then there's no need to fight.
They all look at each other like, what do we do next? What's the next
We,
happen as well?
well, we are going to write a formal
They within 5 feet
complaint
of me.
to the principal.
Bye.
Good luck with that.
I mean, I don't think she'll like take it, but feel free to try.
Doesn't even know that the principal's a male. Low intelligence
take it.
gnome.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. What did
Jonas
they
King
say?
hits one of them.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
I mean,
Do it.
what,
Roll a
they say
hit.
something about the intelligence of or something.
Yeah, it's a low intelligence gnome.
At this point, I feel I should ask: is Queenie letting me know that
Double
anything is
whatever.
going on?
Queenie's just like on your head watching the other direction, like watching that, and every time things are happening, you just get this little when you need to pay attention.
Do I actually though? Do I? I don't think I do. I don't
Roll
think
a hit,
I'm the kind of
Jonas.
person to.
Jonas is going for it. I need to incorporate a normal fist attack.
I don't think Violet's the kind of person to hit someone.
Is one proficient with their own knuckles?
No.
No.
No. Wait, but Violet, do you want to hit someone though? Like, are you like, wow, that's really bad. I wish I could hit this person.
Yeah.
Okay, roll attack with Crystal.
Yeah. Oh no! You do it unlethally?
Please
Sure.
don't kill them.
Oh god, Crystal, you do too much damage. You do a
I'm not-
D8.
that's
It's fine
not
if you
okay.
kill them. I'll deal with it.
Okay, that one I guess without proficiency, which is a little.
17.
Ugh.
Hits.
Still, you both hit.
Different
Uh,
people, I
Don't
hope.
bother rolling damage.
Can I silvery bob someone?
You want to try and stop one of them from hitting?
Yeah.
Which
I
one?
recommend, I
hang
recommend the robot.
yeah, I was gonna go with Crystal.
I don't know, I got
Okay.
a flat 4.
So, roll again for Crystal. You drop it down to an.
That's what I roll.
You do roll.
No, I'm doing my spell
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, you
Ah,
drop
still
it down to a
magic stuff.
22.
Still hit.
That
So-
did not help.
They drop this low intelligence gnome thing, and then it's like the camera pans around to him and this smug look on his face, and then a fist comes in from either side. One of them like the human flesh of Jonas, the other one the like brass coppery like metallic of Crystal. As you punch the dude on either side of his face at the same time.
Crystal, oh, I still look down to make sure, does he look fine?
Oh, he's full unconscious.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine,
You think
okay.
this ruffian had troubles hearing. Do you want to repeat yourself?
The other one's like, oh,
Does he need to be
I'm gonna tell a
supervised?
teacher, and they pick up their guy and they start running away.
I was gonna say, did you want me to spare the dying or just be safe?
They stop.
Sure.
They carry him back. Yes, please.
I just sort of look back. I do the verbal somatic thing. I don't even go near them to do it. I just
Yep.
30 feet away and I go, look, now leave me alone. I'm staring.
And they turn. They just run off as a group.
Why did you do that? She looks at, I guess, Crystal and Jonas.
She wanted to.
yeah.
They asked for it.
They didn't. I didn't hear them say, "Please punch me in the face." But
It
with
was
two people-
non-verbal.
There must have
They
been
might as
something
well
wrong with
have
my
voice,
hearing
yeah.
modules, because that's what I heard.
Crystal.
It doesn't happen very often, but I agree with Crystal.
Oh.
I think the person most caught off guard here is probably Violet that Jonas is agreeing with Crystal.
Probably.
And it just means like, babe, that's partly my fault. I will admit. I mean, I did think it, and sometimes when thoughts get, a bit too, out, she does things.
Terrible
He wants
things.
to hit You wanted to hit them so hard that Crystal telepathically picked it up and then acted on it?
Yeah,
Why?
He was mean.
yeah. I mean, he was being mean to us and to you, so I mean, didn't think that was nice.
Farah's just gonna sneak closer to the YMCA.
Yeah, Farah, you're walking. You just like take a couple of sidles towards YMCA. Jonas, Agnes, and Violet. At this point, you guys have been standing around. This happened. It's getting
Where's
closer to the
Nail?
time where you guys are planning on, leaving Ted a little earlier down. Anaya still isn't here.
Perhaps we should go fetch Anaya.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
Should we, that looks to Farah. Should we grab her?
Farah, we're gonna go get Anaya.
But I need it. Fine.
You can stay if you want.
No. I just sort of... Farah resigns herself. And just comes along.
As you see Farah like turn herself walking away, you see one of the dudes in YMCA looks over his shoulder, sees her, and just like wipes his head like, oh, thank God.
Aww.
Listen, Farah has a reputation.
I know, but that's still sad.
She knows familiars. It's not a crime.
So yeah, you guys all head to Anaya's room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You knock, knock, knock.
Yep.
Knock, knock.
Anaya!
There is no response at all.
Is the door unlocked?
It's
Why are we breaking into everyone's room?
Well, when they don't answer, which twist do they give us?
Farah's just gonna open the door.
Yeah, I didn't hear if it was unlocked or not, but if
It was
is-
locked.
It's locked.
Feel
It's
it.
locked.
Oh,
Maybe we should just wait for her. I don't.
is I don't suppose there is a way to see into the room. Like, there's not like a window or like through the keyhole or anything. that you
There's a
can
window on
just,
the
like-
outside.
Sorry?
There's a window on the outside of the building.
Should we really be trying to? I mean, this is her room.
Yeah, this is kind of a place. I gotta agree with Violet.
I wouldn't like the idea of someone literally
Is-
breaking into my room.
So, from the point, I assume we're in a hallway, yeah? Is there a window, like, nearby that I could send someone to fly around, theoretically?
Yeah, like I said, you can get to a window on the other side of the room where you can look in.
Yeah, they can continue to discuss. If the door's locked when I try it, Farah's just going to walk over the window and sort of start sending Queenie out while looking and such.
Queen does a quick fly around and gets to the window that would be Anaya's room, but I assume the blinds are pulled.
Blinds are cracked open, sort of half
Yeah,
open.
but I mean, she knew that we were meeting up, and I mean, she hasn't been late before, or I don't think. At least not without saying something. Like
What
when
is
we come to the door.
What does Farah see then when they look in through the window?
Anaya's in her normal, more comfortable clothing, and it looks like she's just straight up, like crashed sideways, just like she's face planted the bed and just fallen straight asleep on her face. Hasn't like gone out of her clothes. She's still in shoes. Sheets haven't been pulled back or anything. Like her head's like the opposite way, like where the pillow should go and all that.
Queenie will peck on the window.
There is no response.
I'm more trying to get the attention of your cat in this case.
Oh, he may attempt to swat, probably.
Yeah, you watch some. You peck on the window. There's initially no response. You peck again, and then you see like a white lump, which you thought was like part of Anaya's clothes, just like
Oh.
unwind itself from Anaya, and like initially it's just like a bowl, and then like legs and a face sprout out of it, and it starts like it looks at the window and sees you,
Once,
and then you watch it just walk up the wall at an angle towards the window.
But I did get its attention, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cat is walking towards the window.
Okay, now, I don't know if this is possible, so I'm happy to roll whatever for this. Queenie is going to try and move sort of around the window a little bit, like sort of flap around it and try and get the cat to open the blind to shine light on her.
So initially the Mr. Fluffles goes to the window and like window like doing the whole like thing that cats do, and then like it puts its like feet up on the window, and then its face against the window, and then it like pushes its head against the window, and its face just kind of like smushes into the window, and it spreads out like a puddle. And as you move the thing, the head just like moves following the bird, and like the arms and legs mainly stay still, but the head just moves along the window.
As I see this, then, am I able to sort of get Queenie to, sort of fly in a circle up and down to try and get it dizzy?
Oh, it doesn't take. Like, you can like move it around. It follows the look of the bird, and you can even like have it knock the window open at some point if you're willing to spend the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to wake her up. So...
Yeah, it's like it's knocking the blinds around when it's doing this. Yeah, the light is being shined on Anaya, but whether Anaya wakes up, it's up to you. Don't really make a roll.
And I just kind of seems to just curl up slightly, and she just pulls the hood up over her face.
Okay, so she's awake. Good to know.
She's
Not
alive.
really.
No,
Okay, she didn't jump off the roof.
it's fine. After a while of trying this, I will get Queenie to at least retreat back to me.
Look,
Yeah,
sometimes
so
you
you
gotta do
don't.
it.
So you don't get the cat to open the window.
Oh no, I was trying that. I just
Oh,
assumed
the
it-
cat, like, yeah, after a little bit, like, she does that, and then at some point, the cat's face knocks the latch in the window, like, opens. And,
Mhm.
like, immediately when the window opens, the blob of a cat, like, reaches through the window towards the bird.
back up.
Just make it a dexterity check for the bird.
Sure.
Mr.
Bird
Fluffus
deck.
has
Yep.
Ooh.
So you dash backwards away from the window, and the cat goes, like, just out the window entirely. And you just watch the cat go, like, just out the window and just start falling.
I feel like that.
But then it
cat'll
just
be
hits the wall and
fine.
just sticks to the wall.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the window is open.
Okay. Now this is where I'm finally going to use a raven's actual mimicry.
Oh.
Can it mimic the essentially what is a sound of like a bell?
Yeah.
It hears sounds that the creature that hears the sounds can tell their imitations with a successful DC Wisdom check. But
It's a bird, it can absolutely sound like a bell.
It sounds like an iPhone alarm.
yeah,
It doesn't
Queen-
even need to be like special sounds. I've heard parrots sound like bells before, so I'm sure a raven can.
Yeah, Queen will make the bell sound. That's often
Dun,
heard.
dun,
Wait,
dun,
so-
dun, dun. Get out of my fucking head.
No.
Does this affect Anaya?
You see one of her hands just go out,
Slaps the
filling
bed.
out the bed until she finds a pillow, and she just pulls it over her head.
I thought you were gonna say till you find the bird and just like tap the bird's head like an alarm clock.
Derek,
pillow
get
is
out of my head!
She was looking for the snooze button.
Okay, what else is going on? I probably should have asked. Has anyone noticed the fires went to the window and hasn't got Queen on her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What the rest of you doing was you hear sounds from inside the room and then a bell sound come from the other side of the door.
Agnes
Jonas will
probably go
knock
back
again
to-
and say, Naya.
Yeah.
Okay, still no response.
Are you sure we shouldn't go in there?
Yeah. Yes. Why? What? We shouldn't be breaking into someone's place, right? Like, seriously.
Well,
Like-
we need to go.
I know, but if she's not like getting up, then we shouldn't be forcing her.
I guess at some point after
And
failed
she-
attempts, Queen will fly back out, leaving the window open so the cat
We
can get
just
back in.
You just hear the as it's climbing back up the tower.
And yeah, I will have Queen return to me, going around back to me. And yeah,
The Mr. Fluffles follows Queen back in through the window where you let her out, and then comes in and sees you all, walks up, like rubs against people's legs the way the cats do, sharking people, and then just gets to the door, looks up, goes, "Meow," and then just slurps under the door.
I had nothing to do with that.
Jonas will take a piece of paper and write down that we've gone. Seems like maybe you're still asleep.
She is in fact asleep, Jonas.
Okay. Scratches that part of the note out, rewrites it all
New paper.
to meet us down there, and yeah, just wanted to make sure that it conveys that we didn't just ditch her. That just seemed to be tired, as you said.
I won't explain the way she was sleeping because I feel like that's not something others should really be told.
And I'll slide it under the door.
And what if she does want to come now, but she just doesn't realize what the time is? And that will be
We'll still be there when she gets up, probably.
A little cat paw comes under the door, like when you slide it under.
It's hard because it's a boundaries thing, so
Yes, boundaries.
I do not want to. If don't need to.
So what are you guys doing?
Probably head back. I think for Violet.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, if we're not too late, maybe we can walk with the others.
So you start walking downstairs. You see that there's Vost is there. He's like, Gamma P, we're about to leave.
So much for going early.
Lost.
He gives a.
It's
a
good to see you this morning.
Oh shit!
He looks at you and
Forgot
just,
about that.
There's like, he looks at you, he looks at the, like, across the group of you, his eyes stop at, like, flick past Fire and look at Jonas, and then at Crystal. It's like, he knows something happened, but he doesn't say anything.
I'm just like shying my head away, like even though it wasn't me technically that did it, but it was my
didn't
robot.
report the lightning law. That's good to know.
Just as you're gonna be one short.
She's resting.
Yeah, I think so today.
Alright, she'll have to make her own way down there. Everyone, let's get going.
Do we have to walk in our groups?
No.
The YMCA have asked you to not walk next to them. You know about the restraining order.
There is no such thing, Vost.
He gives you a. He looks at you with one eyebrow raised and goes, okay. Move out. You see.
There's like another teacher here as well, and like they start escorting the group down for those who may not know where the care house is, which you all know. It's like everyone in the fucking city knows where it is. It's like we're going into the smoke. The students who are scared stay with the teachers.
I was just gonna walk in there freely.
Yep.
I forgot to request something. This was meant to be like a level up thing. I innately get Warding Bond just as one of my spells from being a battlesmith. Am I able to request platinum rings to use for that spell? How many am I able to request? Enough for the group?
Probably just 2.
Just 2. Okay, cool. Good to know then. I'll just keep a note of that.
So you all eventually make your way down.
Did the group want to like rush ahead so you have some time before everyone else gets there, or you just want to like give up on the whole pre-arrival thing?
If
give up
Jonas
on
still wants to go there.
Up
the
to
whole
Jonas.
pre-arrival thing. Not everyone's there and all that stuff, and besides, it was a cover for me wanting to do what I did before.
Which we don't know anything about.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what, Winnie, this is the first time we're all leaving the school today.
You're dead to me.
Eventually, as you all get back to the thing, you all arrive, and standing in front of you wearing a white lab coat over like his leather duster is this mixture of George Clooney and Hohenheim from Fullmetal Alchemist.
That makes sense.
Still don't know.
You are
Just Google. You have
I gave you
Google.
2 things. You just need to mush them together.
We all know just
Like Google.
old George Clooney or younger George Clooney.
Oh, George
old
Clooney.
George
He's got
Clooney.
this silver. He's got this black hair that's starting to silver and grey with age. A very neat beard. That's the full like beard mustache combo. Long hair that's tied up in a very thin ponytail. Large upper body. And like yeah, he's just wearing this very like robes mixed with a leather duster mixed with like a white lab coat on top. He's got a board, a noteboard on him that he's been like. He seems to be like as before because you guys enter. You see that he's like doing poses to introduce himself to everyone, and then
Sorry, he's doing poses?
like he's
George
talking to
Clooney
the
present
receptionist. Should I be more like this, or should I like just turn to them like a serious? Do I acknowledge them to begin with,
Oh.
sort of deal?
I thought he was just doing, like, Fullmetal Alchemist Armstrong poses.
No.
No. He definitely has the.
It is me, the caretaker! Welcome!
He's like,
Okay, I
and
now
see,
see.
I like it. Yeah, I like my idea. He's like talking to the reception, like, and then see they'll all walk in, and I'll just be talking to you very casually, and then I'll just turn around and be like, and then he turns like, "Welcome to the care house."
Oh my god.
Were you trying to wait? How much of this did we see coming in?
Like, just
Yeah, you
laugh.
saw the preamp of like, yeah, and I'm gonna turn to them, and then he notices that the entire group is there.
Were you
So he
perhaps
turns.
looking to do something like this and proceeds to pose, utilizing the good old disguised self to amp up the clothing drama, literally imitating his clothes in this case.
Yeah.
As I'll do a trying to think of what the pose is called. Superman pose?
Mm.
Oh, the freaking like arms, like hands on hips, like chest forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even make the coat
Billow in the
floaty
wind.
a bit.
Bill in the non-existent wind. What's the 9? What's the D100 for?
I know, I just wanted to roll the 100.
Do you want me to performance this one or?
Needs a
Huh?
crack
Nah,
fix.
So
I
you
saw
get
him
you
and I
arrive.
needed crack.
You all arrive, and as you guys get there, he turns around and is like, "Welcome to the care house. I, as you all know, am the caretaker, as they call me. And it's a great honor for you all to intern here. I always look forward to showing students at the academy what life is like down here in the smoke. For not all of you, in fact, most people in Ghislaine never venture down past the final gate. So please, come with me and help us as we teach you how to care for those who need it." And he turns and like, with like a flourish of his cloak, his like lab coat, he starts walking over to one section as he
So hard not to copy his movements.
he moves over and like he like nods to Vost as well.
Clearly
Like,
remember, Violet knows nothing.
I know.
Remember?
I'm
Hi,
not
my
sure
heel.
how well can I replicate his movements as I go?
You
not
got a
terrible.
map?
just a little hospital map. But yeah, on the first, like when you guys arrive, he steps back a bit and is like, "As you'll see as you enter here, this is the reception. Where people are sick, they come in here. We have a little waiting area off to the side. We employ a lot of doctors, not all magically inclined, but to help with all elements we can possibly find. There is a pharmacy off to the edge and a little resting area for the employees. Any medicines that the people need here are all free of charge. We handle our finances however we can. Sometimes it's a bit tight, but through help from various donors and through developments that we discover with our experimentation in the medicinal field, we're able to make the money we are to keep this place running." He shows off. On either side of the main floor are the 2 main clinics. This is where people who just have to come in for the day come in. Most people down here will just pop in, see one of the doctors, get what they need, or get a little slip for the pharmacy, get the medicine, and be back on their way, so they don't have to waste any more time with a nasty cough or a strange-looking bruise or rash. Down here, and he shows like there's like a staircase that heads down. Underground, we have our storage area. This is where we keep all of the medicine and goods for those who do stay here. There's a delivery entrance outside, though that's not as important. It's just a storeroom. There's not much interesting down there in reality. Let's go upstairs, and he takes you up to the 2nd floor. And it's like on either wing here we have two different groups. On the left, we have the short-term storage. This is for those who come in here who might be here for a day or two, maybe a week. Those who might have hurt themselves or need lasting care over several days and can't take care of themselves in that time. The other side, we have long-term care. This is people who potentially don't have the means to care for themselves or have disabilities that will affect them for the rest of their life. There, we make sure they're comfortable and safe, and they live in the comfort of being provided for. Jonas, you'll know this area. That's the way your mother stays.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and this floor is also an employee area as well, near this at the back. Though this is just a nice stop of a point for those who need a bit of a rest during the working day. He heads back up to the top floor, leading everyone up there. Up here, there's another employee area, like all the other floors. And then there's two main wings. The first one is the administration wing. That's where my office is, as he taps a door near the entrance. You'll find me in here most days. This is also where we keep all of our bookkeeping and all of our note-taking. Any illnesses we discover and ways to solve them, every bit of information we've learned through all of our years helping the sick is stored in here. It's also made copies and sent out freely to the Ghislaine Institute, as he nods to the Bard College, and also to Tel Nerus, and even as far as Drakazul. We pass it on to the Concordant and to those dwarves in the north now, but they have yet accepted our request to send information to them. Our other wing is only for the senior of us. These are for, we call them the incurable infirm. It is... None of you will be seeing in that area much. Unfortunately, the individuals in there are... Music stops me. Unstable is not the correct word.
Filled with stories?
Sad ones, yes. Those in there have been afflicted in ways that they will never recover from, and unfortunately they are either dangers to themselves or those around them because of this. We care for them as best we can, we make sure they're comfortable, but unfortunately there is little we can do to help them. We're always trying new things, try and fix whatever it is in them that has done this, but sometimes there is no cure.
Amazing how much I hate this.
Only he stops there's honestly not much to talk about here. This is a very straightforward design. We don't have a lot of wings or fancy areas to go. Is there any questions anyone has?
No.
Where do we start?
It's a great question. I'll be passing you off to one of our head doctors here. He will be dividing you all into groups that you think will fit you best. We have many jobs that need assistance here. Whether you think one fits you best or you think one might challenge you in ways you didn't even consider, you can pick the job you want, and as long as you help out, you get all those marks that some of you want, some of you are here just for the experience. Darian scrolls back down through his notes.
That sounds good.
If you all know, the main jobs we ask for assistance in, obviously he taps the door of the admin. The file work in there is, file work as in paperwork, is extensive. It is very difficult for us to keep ahead of it, so anyone who would like to just do some standard administrative work, helping us scribe the documents and make copies of all the illnesses we've discovered, can do so in there. We also ask for assistance with the nursing in delivering food and goods to those staying in the short and long-term care. This also is good with changing the beds and helping clean where we can. There's also, down in the basement, the storage area, you can help in assisting by organizing and moving things around and fetching goods for doctors who need them. The similar work for the pharmacy of fetching the materials that they need for the creation of the poultices they use, or even, if you have an eye for it, assisting in the potential creation of some basic poultices. Who knows? You might have some talents there, as he smiles to the group. Finally, the last two things, there is to maintain the clinics when the doctors aren't there. So, for instance, if a doctor has just seen a patient and they need a quick clean down, you can head in, restock what needs to be stocked while the doctor's out for a minute, and then make sure it's ready for the next person who comes in. Or you can help out at the reception desk and help with the reception nurses in asking patients what they have wrong and how we can best help them. Hopefully some of that sound intriguing to you as he scans the crowd. You can.
I only have one other question then.
Sure.
When you say working with the your clients, the people here, there is, you said, little chance of us being able to try and interact with the ones that are stricken with incurable things.
Unfortunately, that is for your safety. Due to the nature of their illnesses, some of them are not safe to always be around. We must be careful when interacting with them as they have bursts of violence on occasion. No doctor goes in by themselves just in case.
With special request, would you be willing to reconsider?
Unfortunately not. We have some of the best minds in Ghislaine who are willing to participate, contributing and helping heal them. But this is something we can't put students towards. If any of you got hurt, I would never hear the end of it, and I would never be able to forgive myself.
Very well.
How
So,
would
yeah.
they hurt us?
Lashing out. A lot of them are confused. They're not sure what's going on or where they are. We try to help them, but they have these bursts every so often. Some of them are lucid for days at a time, and then maybe one day they'll suddenly be near catatonic or acting in rage. It's illnesses that go beyond words. Though none of you have to deal with that. And unfortunately, it is just something very sad. And hopefully, none of you ever know somebody who has to end up in there. As well, it is what I'm sure a lot of them would like to leave. Their families have requested that they stay here.
Oh, that's all my questions. And she gives a light smile.
Good. Well, on less depressing topics, if anyone knows where they'd like to go, just let the doctor know, and he'll take you right there. And immediately, all of P++ is like, they're all just like pharmacy, send us to the pharmacy.
You see is yeah, is this as they like turn to see the doctor, this like male iguana lizard folk wearing the similar white jacket has got another clipboard. As they're like, this is like, yes, all right. He starts like putting them all down for the pharmacy. Where would you guys like to go?
I should probably stop impersonating the one that was showing us around first with the clothing.
Is this how the group thing or individual thing?
Individual.
Can I lean over and ask Eunice where his mum is?
He's in the long-term rooms on the second floor.
I imagine administration could use the hands of a bunch of extra eyes. Ravens are quite smart creatures. And I'm sure they're not going to mind if I have a few extras.
Annoyingly, when I find myself good with organization, I feel like I'd probably be better off moving stuff below.
I'll take the heavy lifting, or the gathering stuff. I believe the term is gophering.
Can I delegate separate things like to Crystal specifically?
They will.
She'll go with you.
They'd prefer if the construct is with the master.
Same as you hear like the YMCA. It's like all of their familiars have to stay with them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a curious thing I just want to know about.
So the infirmary, so the admin and the incurable are on the same floor, yes?
Yep, top floor.
Just keeping that in mind.
Oh, this hurts.
Admin
So you'll see that the YMCA group splits up. Some of them are signing up for the admin. Some of them sign up for delivering food and stuff. A few of them sign up for like maintaining the clinics and whatnot. One of them's like, I'm gonna work in the reception. And they all take their various animals with them.
Oh god. I don't know. Fuck.
You see, like, as PP play, when Darren's like the P++ was trying to get in, Group Jeff was also trying to get in because they're druid's like, oh, we want to learn how to make poultices and stuff, so he's actively having to pick between the two groups.
I don't think any of us can pick pharmacy.
Actually, you said Vost is with us, yes?
Not anymore,
Yeah.
actually. So when you guys all left, he was like stayed downstairs, and they've left at this point.
I
Like,
was.
you know that
yeah,
they'll
no,
come back in the evening to like collect you all and help and like take you back.
I was just thinking about whether Vost would want me near patients.
No.
Probably not.
You can assume there were some potential questions asked to Arky about why you were allowed to be on this trip.
Why exactly?
Yeah, no, I look to whoever's in charge of the admin area. I'd like to assist there. I imagine me and I have a few extra eyes that can help me out with looking around.
Yeah, the person who's like writing them down is like, yes, quite a few of the familiar ones, and he points at the YMCA kids, like 3 of them, and like also doing that. They tend to also sign up. The familiars are rather good for fetching documents, and and there's one where like a squirrel is just holding a quill, and it's like some of them can write.
Well, yeah, I've got ravens. Corvids are quite smart animals. Thank you, Queenie.
So we got fire.
And
So
you.
we got fire and admin. We've got Jonas working in the basement.
I'm like torn between two, honestly, because I can kind of fit both.
Go wherever you
Do you
want.
have a specific pick, Agnes?
Yeah, I think Agnes wants to do like working directly with the patients in the long term.
Zips are delivering in food, helping clean the stuff, and take. Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, that
And even though if you've got an opinion, Anaya, even though you're not here, we can just do it like later. Files, okay.
So
Yeah.
Anaya's an admin.
Okay, then. I was gonna say this is just for my own general knowledge because I wanted to like make sure it wasn't sticking out. Is it possible for like autonomous constructs to be able to like write what they see?
It's okay, like define motor skills to write. It's like Crystal can technically write. It's just
Yes.
not very like neat.
Okay, good. I
Aw.
just need to know. All right.
And K is too small.
No, okay, would have just been file collection. Like that's
Yeah.
my mind in that area.
But like Crystal could do the same thing. Like Crystal could collect files and move things around too.
I don't know actually. I'm really fucking struggling. So what were the options again? Can you remind me? I've had it.
There's-
So there's admin, there's the short or long-term care, there's the basement and storage, which is where Jonas is. There's pharmacy, which is currently filled with the P++ and Club Jeff. And then there's the clinic maintenance and reception.
I think I might want to go down with Jonas just so I'm actually near someone I know.
Okay.
Okay, so the robot goes downstairs with Jonas.
Yep. We all go.
You can never escape it, Jonas.
I'm sorry, but there was already 3 people at admin. I was like, alright, well, can't do that. Don't want to
you-
cluster it.
You can say admin. I'm happy to swap with you.
No, no.
As you all express your interest,
I'm sure the people in admin would be happy if I swap with you too, actually.
the 4 of you.
Well, if it becomes a problem, then we'll just swap.
fuck, Jonas might swap with you.
The head doctor tells you what time lunch breaks are for you, that they're staggered, so remember your lunchtime. And yeah, sends you away. He gives you all a clearly like a junior helper white coat. He's like, they're part of the group now. As the head.
Totally not already wearing a coat that's a replica of.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like you're all honorary doctors, yeah! And they've got like gold stars over like where their name would be. You're meant to write your own name.
Even though I'm sure they have like different sizes. I like to imagine that like whatever one they give Agnes, like the sleeves are slightly too long.
Always.
And as you all set about your different tasks, I think we'll cover that next time.
Mm-hmm. The only question I had was, with the breaks, would they be long enough theoretically for short rests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, because I want to keep the flock of familiars up as much as I can to have 4 ravens helping in any time.
That's fair.
It's going to be loud in the admin room.
Oh yeah, you aren't the only person with birds.
I assume I'm not the only one with flock of familiars either.
There's someone who has like a lizard that just like runs along the walls and shit, and There's just like shoots its tongue out to like grab a file.
Oh, it's saying that. If they're regular spellcasters, they wouldn't be able to do Flux Familiar as quickly each with the breaks.
Nope.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was session 7. It's interesting.
Now me and Edge need to rewrite some stuff.
Hey, it's me. What's up? I'm here to fuck shit up.
No, that's great.
I'm all about it.
So,
Show me
you
why.
have absolutely no fear of me trying to sneak into the incurable?
You can try.
Try.
I just said you had no fear.
Dude, we're gonna be. If you sneak into it, you're gonna be like pre-sneaking into it when we sneak into it.
But yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're all going there at some point. So it's probably best to do it together.
Depending on the context, that's really dark.
Yeah, it is.
Do our streamy people need to announce any cool streamy things?
Nah.
I'm streaming almost every day of October doing my Spooktober. I finished Bioshock the other night,
Yeah.
and I'll be starting Bioshock 2 tomorrow night after doing Dead by Daylight with people.
Nice. My end, Hollow Knight tomorrow. Tuesday is a maybe on Bringus Farms. Wednesday is going to be more Riku story on Chamber Memories, more Digimon on Thursday, and we're back next week with Echoes of the Forgotten. Well, they'll see what this results in, maybe. They'll find out.
I'm scared. Please, I've never felt so much pain listening to Darian just constantly talk because of the descriptions he was giving me. I'm like, this mother. I can't believe what you two fuckers are doing. Like,
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about? He's just a cool dude!
he's just a cool dude. Fuck. Why am I here?
Come on,
No.
didn't you see his intro where he was like trying to impress us? He's
You're
just
seeing-
he's so
He's
adorable.
George
I
Clooney
know.
Hohenheim.
What got me
That's
was
like
when
the
you
worst
mentioned,
part about it.
That this is the person who helps those in need. That had me curious.
He helps everyone.
I'm
He's a
referring
great
to even
guy.
He helps everyone. Sometimes when they don't need it.
But we'll leave you all wondering. Okay.
Pain.
Talk to you all in 2 weeks' time for more Gamma P.
Really.
Bye.
See ya.
Yes.
But